Hey, welcome back to another episode of Instant Ramen Podcast. I'm your host, Juan. As always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey.
How was your trip to Disneyland trip?
Let's get into that in a fucking second here, Juan. How about
just
you
wanna-
stop jumping the gun? I know. I've missed you just as bad as you've missed me.
We have been talking for a good 16, 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And you were like, before you start talking, you go, I have 2 stories about Disneyland, but I'm going to save them for the show. So it's like, so you're giving me all these other stories, but they're all weak.
Yeah,
I know,
okay,
I know they're not the hard-hitting ones. Look, man, this week we're talking about A Silent Voice, okay?
Okay.
This week we're talking about A Silent Voice, a movie that just dropped pretty recently in the United States. It's been out for a while.
I'm so excited to talk about this.
I can't wait, because you know what? I think you and I may have different opinions about this.
I think that we probably do. First and foremost, we've been fucking up big time for a while.
With what?
We got confused about what A Silent Voice was.
Okay.
Because there's another movie that came out in 2015. I guess at some point there was like a reference to it, and like somebody might have fucked something up on something we read.
Yeah.
And that's the one that we were like,
What's that one
that
called?
sounds interesting. God, it's like the sound of something.
Super funny that me and
Sound of the Heart, maybe?
So Sierra and I watched that together, right? A Silent Voice in theaters, and we sit down and we're just looking at the screen, and she goes, you know what? I honestly don't even know what this movie's about. And I go and I look at her, I'm like, I don't either, but from what I remember, I think it's about suicide or murder or depression, or depression, and then someone can't sing or someone can sing. It's something like that. And she's
because one of the first shots is one of the first scenes they're singing choir together, and I was like, this is totally. And then
I was like, no.
2 hours into the movie, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be the same movie,
which is great. I think it was a good surprise. Anyways,
I was happy that I knew less about it than I thought.
Absolutely, I'm glad I had no idea. I rarely go into movies not knowing what I'm going to see.
Yeah,
just because
it's refreshing.
Yeah, it's super weird. Back in the day, I was just like, you would have to look up the trailer online. You're like, I'm just going to go to Apple Movies or whatever, or Apple whatever. And now it's just they just jam that shit down your throat. So you by the time I get there, by the time I go to see Spider-Man, I'm like, oh, I know what's happening.
Yeah, I already saw this whole movie. Cool. I'm just looking at the extra stuff.
I'm just here to see the bits I miss.
Pretty much.
Anyways, this week we were talking about A Silent Voice. I'm super stoked to get your opinion on it.
Yeah.
I have some things to say about it.
I'm sure that we have different opinions, but...
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get around to that. First, let's just talk about how you been, man.
Yeah, man. I've been really good. This last week I've been out of town. It's kind of been a nice refresher. And went to Disneyland with my family and friends.
Nice.
So it was my roommate, Leandra, and then my mom and her fiance.
People are probably wondering why I didn't fall under the category of family or friends. It's because you and I are business partners.
This is a business relationship
we
here.
are business guys. You don't see it right now, but we're wearing ties, suits, business.
True that.
All business right here. Number business.
Exactly.
I wonder how many times you say business before it gets annoying.
I don't know, man. Why don't we try?
2 more times. Business.
Yeah.
Business. Oh?
I'm still ready to go.
Business. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, no.
It's annoying. Anyways, so you went with a bunch of people that, from here and there, and you met up with some people out there. It's cool.
Yeah, and it was cool because, I wanted to go to Disneyland, and I was like, I'm fucking doing this. I tried to meet up with a couple of friends there. That was my original intention. I got an email, and they were like, Halloween time, and we have it all Halloween. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I love Halloween. I love Disneyland. Let's do it.
Let's go.
I've never seen this shit, so I want to check it out. And then... I was like, I'm going regardless. I really want to go. So I was going to try to meet up with friends. But then I was talking to Leandra. I found out about it at work. And I was like, I'm thinking about doing this. If you were into it. She's like, I don't know. And then she finally made the decision, fuck yeah, I'm going to Disneyland, bro. And my mom was the one who was kind of setting everything up because she wanted to show Rosemary Disneyland, her fiance. And finally, we got it all situated and we got everything good to go, good and ready. And I asked my roommate, hey man, you never been to Disneyland? I don't know if you want to go.
Really?
But well, he went when he was a really little kid.
Okay.
So he doesn't remember anything at all.
I'm just surprised. I feel like most, I don't know, God, maybe I'm racist, but just most white folks go to Disneyland.
Whoa.
I know, it sounds a little racist.
Yeah,
that sounds like good racism though. Oh, white people have been to Disneyland. Yeah, all of you, you pieces of shit.
Yeah, I didn't go until I was 14.
I didn't go until I was 21. Sierra took me for the first time.
Nice. Yeah, it's going when you're older, I think it's fine.
It's different.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate, it is nostalgic at some points, but there are some rides where it's I bet this would have been the fucking shit. The bee's knees at 8 years old.
Totally.
The Small World ride, oh my God, the worst thing in the world. But I went because I was I have the experience.
Well, you got to check it all out. Yeah, I've been on everything. And, as a grown-ass adult now, I'm like, okay, look, I've been on this. I know what's going on.
You know,
you don't have to do this.
You know, like, I can vouch for this. You'll have a good time with this. And
and there are certain ones where I'm like, this isn't that great, but I think that you should see it because you fucking get sent to prison and then you go to hell. So you should go on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Dude, that one's really fun. I really like that one.
You like that one? You're just like, woo, and you're done. Yeah, it's great.
I remember lining up for it and feeling like a little stupid, and then I like sat in it. I was like, you know what? I never felt so right in my whole life. Like that's like one of my favorite movies that like I forget. Like it's
the Wind in the Willows. Yeah.
So had Rosemary never been in Disneyland before?
Rosemary went when she was 19, which is 20 years ago.
So it's changed a lot. Then.
Yeah. So she was like going in pretty much fresh. She didn't remember much. Everyone had a really great time. Rosemary's all business though, and my mom is
business.
And my mom is all like. Not like she's all like, ooh, what's this over here? You know, and Rosemary's like, let's go do the thing that we said that we were going to do. And she just got back from the National Guard, so she's even more like, we do this. This is what we do.
We are Army strong or whatever. Hey, hold on. So we weren't you? So how many days was it? 3 days?
We were at Disneyland for 3 days. Josh and Leandra left halfway through the third day, which I was pretty jealous, honestly, because I kind of had my fill. But I used the rest of the third day to do some shopping.
Cool.
And just kind of like check stuff out and chill.
It's just like, it's cool. I mean, it's kind of interesting that like when I had a day or whatever, and so I had to do everything.
Oh,
so
man,
Rosemary to be like, we have to do this. Like, dude, you got 3 days to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Calm that's
exactly how I felt. That's how my mom felt too. She was like, "Ooh, what's this?" And Rosemary was like, "Nope, we got an agenda. We gotta go."
And like, it's like, we do, but like Disneyland ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Going nowhere. Anyways, let's hear these killer stories of yours.
Yeah, so check it out. First off, I'm not a big fan of rides where you just drop.
Right, okay, yeah.
I don't know how I do with certain things, but that I'm not huge on. There's Tower of Terror in California Adventure. It's been changed to Guardians of the Galaxy Breakout.
Yeah, I remember seeing that recently they made that change, and people were like, some people were up in arms. I was like, dude, it's like...
I mean, like, I totally feel them. It's nostalgic for them to be all about the Twilight Zone stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
Which I still don't know really why that was at, like, Disneyland.
Yeah.
But whatever. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, that makes more sense.
They own it. It makes sense. It's a huge cash cow.
Exactly. And the line was pretty cool. They had some, like, neat stuff going through. They have some fun videos and the little thing, like, sometimes they put you in a room and they, like, kind of show some stuff off before you go and do things. And that's how this works. So you go in and you watch a little video and Rocket the raccoon comes down. He's like, yo, fuck this. Seen this video 1 billion times. Here, check it out. Guys, help me out. We're going to get the fuck out of here. We're going to break out my bros. And that's the whole mission. Essentially, you are tourists that have access to certain things. You're inside of like a museum. Anyway, so you go through and then you blow stuff up and you see these like videos in between and everyone's having a fun time and it's great. And I went on it and I was pretty fucking scared, but I was having a good time. I wasn't holding on. I had my hands up and everything. I'm like, this is big for Chris.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I'm like shaking, like, oh my God, so much adrenaline. I don't know what to do. Like that was fucking scary. And we went back on later because there was a short line or something like that. And it was also fun. Had a great time. But I was still like, whew, man, my heart, like, my
little heart, I can't take it.
And then at night, it changes to like Monster something or other. I don't remember what it's called. But I don't know if it was just for Halloween. I think it might have been. But after dark, they change it. So like all the lights flicker when you were going through the museum of like, the collector man from the movie or whatever.
The collector.
Yeah. Hey. I think his name is like something with a T, and that's why I'm like, I was just trying to remember. Anyways, so you're going through, and there was like a dog inside of like the space dog.
Cosmo, the space dog, yeah.
Yeah. And you saw him originally, but then his little thing is covered up, like he broke out, kind of thing. And I was like, oh, that's like a fun little detail. And a bunch of lights are flashing and the video's flickering and it's not playing correctly. And then it's showing surveillance footage of like people running around trying to catch shit. And it was like pretty cool. And then we go in and Rocket comes down again. He's like, wait, why the hell are you guys back here? Like, get out, like shit's fucked up here. Actually, I could use you guys. And he explains it and he's like, okay, monsters are gonna come, you act super scared, scream, and then they'll all be attracted to you, and I'll find Groot because that little motherfucker got lost.
Is he baby Groot?
Yeah.
Nice.
So then all that shit's going on and we're like, this is fun, okay, cool. And then we get to the ride and it starts and all the lights are off. I'm like, oh, I don't know how this is going to be. And as soon as it starts going, I'm like, nope, in the dark, complete darkness. I can't do it. Fuck this. This ride fucking sucks. And I was terrified, right? And I'm so fucking scared. I'm holding on the whole time. And meanwhile, like, Josh is laughing his ass off. He like knows how terrified I am. He could like feel me grabbing it and whatnot. And he's just like having such a great time. He like thinks it's hilarious that I'm scared of like anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really like...
You're a massive guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You should have fear of nothing.
So he's fucking cracking up. I'm like, yeah, I totally get that. And I think it's great that he's having an even better time because I'm scared. I'm like, good. I'm happy for him.
I'm happy you're happy with my sadness.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it totally didn't matter. Like, I was just like, good. We're having a fun time. Cool. But I'm also terrified. So, like, this is just for me being scared and you're having fun. Great. Anyways, it gets to the point where it takes a picture or whatever. And I was like trying to be all... Because I was terrified. My face is pretty much just blank, right? But for the picture, I really wanted to relay my fear, so I made it like a super fucking good expression. I was scared and put my hands up like I was like crying and like terrified. And then the second that it starts moving, my hands just shut down and Josh fucking lost it. He was losing his shit. And I'm like, all right, this is going to work out. That's fine. And he was talking about how fucking great it was that I had my hands up at one point and I put him down. I'm like, oh yeah, but when you see the picture, you'll understand. So we went to go take the picture of it. And it has a code on it and you could enter that in an app and it gives you the like high quality picture. And I hit it and I don't know what happened, but my phone made it like blurry and like all of it got distorted. It was like, fine. I'm looking at it. I'm like, boop. So I lost it. I didn't fucking get it. I was terrified on this ride and I was so happy. I was like, people will always know how fucking scared I was. And I thought it was hilarious.
No
like,
one will know.
Leander and Josh are having the best fucking time. And I'm just like fucking horrified. Yeah, now fucking no picture of that. And I was pissed. And I was a big, brave dog getting on that ride.
No pick didn't happen, dog. Picker didn't happen.
Didn't fucking happen.
You were brave as fuck for all I know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was just fucking having a great time. And I don't want people to think that. I want them to think that I was having the worst fucking time of my life on that ride.
People know I'm a coward.
Yeah, exactly. I want that. So then, at another point, we had, I think it was... We went on Splash Mountain, and then right after Splash Mountain, there's a store which sells like all kinds of stuffed animals, but it also has like a little like sweet shop. So they're making cookies and whatnot the whole time. So we went and got some cookies. And we were like, Josh, you gotta fucking try them. You like cookies. This is gonna be the best. And then afterwards, we saw somebody laying on a bench, and they had a drink that they were laying down the straw and they were drinking it. And then Josh is like, look at that guy on the bench. Dude's dead. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I looked over, I'm like, that dude is a woman and like they look like they're fine.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, man, dude's dead. And I'm like, whatever. We're sitting eating our cookies, and then medical people come over and we're like, oh shit, wait, dude's dead? What the fuck?
Do you think it was like someone called the medical people, or like someone just overheard Josh say dude's dead and like Disney just knew, they're like, oh fuck, someone died?
I don't know, but they got over there and they brought like even more drinks. The person already had 3 drinks and they brought them another. And I was like, why are they
So were they just like dehydrated or something?
I think that they were dehydrated and tired and whatnot, but they were just over there like trying to help him out and whatnot. And it got like really serious really quick. And we're like, the fuck just happened? Like, dude died.
And you're over here like this is Disneyland. No one can die at Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's a magical kingdom.
The fucking thing that cracked me up so much is like, check out that guy on a bench. And like
that's a girl.
Dude's dead.
That's a girl.
Fucking lost it. So throughout the whole trip, he was like, man, I feel like that guy on the bench right now.
That guy that was clearly a woman.
Yeah. So now that's like my favorite thing. And I decided that I'm going to be that dude that died on the bench for Halloween.
No one's going to like, what are you?
People get the idea, you know?
People are like, I'm a dehydrated guy in Disneyland, but I'm obviously a woman. Duh. Idiot.
With my like 50 drinks.
Oh man, that's super weird.
Great.
That's kind of interesting. That's how you acquired your idea for your costume. But hey man, more power to you.
Dude, it's fucking kick ass. And I bought you some lollipops,
nice.
Man. I bought you a fucking kick ass unicorn lollipop. Bought you a kick ass not unicorn lollipop, the big flat spiral one.
Nice.
You know, it's gonna be legit. And I also bought myself a mug, and the spoon broke for it like immediately. I'm like, oh, cool.
You had a spoon for the mug?
Yeah, it was fucking kick-ass. It's a little Stitch mug, and then it has this area on the side for a spoon, so you can mix in whatever it is, and it's cute. And it had a surfboard spoon, and I was like, this is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it sounds
like,
pretty cool.
I thought it was really rad. And then I'm taking it out of the packaging, and like, as I move it through the cardboard, it's just like tink. I'm like,
no! Oh, man. That sucks.
Yeah.
Man, that's a bummer. Well, I'm glad you had a great time at Disneyland. I didn't have like an amazing time when you were away. I just kind of had a time. Yeah, I mean,
Juan, I'm so sorry.
No, man,
it's not okay.
I was finishing up my modeling project that I've been bitching about for the last few weeks.
Fuck, dude. Maya sucks.
It's fine.
Maya sucks.
So then I turned it in. I had a presentation, and like, there's people whose stuff was a lot better than mine, and there's people who are a lot worse than mine. So like, I didn't feel like as like self-conscious about it anymore. And I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I don't ever have to look at this project ever again. I'm super stoked. So I've been spending a lot of time just like sleeping, like because I've lost so much sleep. I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna watch this video, and then all of a sudden, like, I just pass out. Yeah. And I wake up, and like other videos will play, like, it'll be on like YouTube or something. Like today, no, like 2 days ago, I passed out to like, you know, that guy that does like the weekly food review. I'm running on empty. That guy. Yeah, because I hate that guy, right?
So you were just bitching about him. So, and you were like, fuck this guy.
I don't like that guy. So anyways, his video popped up on YouTube. I was like, and it was like one of the ones where it's like, it wasn't about food. It was about like, people want to know why I do this. Like, and the question was like, why he drinks out of a Starbucks, why he drinks Starbucks water. And I was just like, God, like, I don't give a fuck, but I kind of want to know. So... And it was
that's the thing, because something about him is so captivating, and he's just the strangest dude. Like, fucking crazy.
Homie's crazy. Anyway, so like I was like, oh man, I look at it, it's like a 17-minute long video. I was like, is it worth it? I was just like, all right, I'm gonna do it. So I play it, I start watching it, I probably make it like 10 minutes in, and then before I pass out, 2 hours go by. I wake up and I wake up to like this guy's voice, and he's just like, videos have just been playing on a loop. Shit. I was like, oh man, that's weird. It's a nasty nightmare.
I gotta go get me a meat mountain from Arby's.
Yeah. So you know, I've been catching up on sleep that I've lost. I also was able to do anime night, and I'm watching stuff. Me and Sierra have come together and we agreed on like things we're gonna watch together. So together we're gonna be watching Black Clover.
Nice.
We're gonna continue Boruto. Continue Welcome to Ballroom. Nice. Let's see what else. The Zodiac Wars we're gonna watch together. Yeah. There was
Just Because.
Yeah, I had her watch the first episode to see like whether she liked it or not, because I like it. I want to continue it. So if she doesn't like it, then I'll just watch it myself. But by the time we popped it in, it was like late, and she had like just gotten off doing like 13 hours of work. So I was like, I can't really gauge if he was enjoying it.
You know what? Also, that's kind of a hard show to enjoy if you're tired, because it's also like it's slow mellow.
Paced. It's not like the most action packed thing. So. Yeah, all I know is that I don't know how far you are in Zodiac Wars.
First episode, because I pretty much left right after we recorded last week.
So I think
now I'm recording right when I get back this week.
I think I'm on episode 4 for that. 3 was popping. 4 was kind of slow. But what's cool about after episode 4 for Zodiac Wars, at the very end, it really sets it up for the next episode to be like action packed. So I'm super stoked for that.
Dude, I'm ready to bounce on that boy's dick. You know,
I'm liking it. I'm also one last thing I've gotten into. A friend of mine recommended this because I told him how heartbroken I was about how King's Game is just fucking trash.
Yeah, it's Garbo Mountain.
And so he's like, "Hey man, you should like check out this manga." And I was like, "I read manga. I like manga.
Yeah.
But I don't read it as much as I watch like anime, right?
Of course, because reading's for nerds. First off,
it just takes more time. You know, you actually have to like focus or whatever, and like. So he was like, hey, he goes, King's Game reminds me of this other show and this other anime manga, and he told me about it. It's called God Says, and it's about like these kids who are in school, and all of a sudden like these weird like Japanese pieces of like
fucking
pop
Japanese.
culture pop up, like a Daruma doll, the big cat that has like the coin, you know that. There's also like those weird dolls that have like it's just stick in a head, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I actually do.
Yeah, okay, good. I don't know what they're called, but like it's just a bunch of these things come up.
Stick head things.
Yeah, and systematically we follow our main character, and every chapter people just fucking die, and it's just like,
so you're all about that.
It's so fucking good. Like, and and I'm really liking it because it's like at first it was just like this is like it's really over the top, and then when they bring it back to the real world, the people like that are like outside and seeing this happen, they're just as confused as we are. They're just like, yeah, there's news reports about these kids that are suffering these horrible deaths and they don't know why, and there's like this before they go into this like the next level of something, they get a nickname. They call them, they're God's children. It's just like a name that gets dropped.
Cool. Yeah.
And then they pop out of this box after surviving that land on these hospitals. It's not just in Japan, it's all over the world.
Yeah.
And the kids that survive, and then like now people are praising them. It's like, oh my God, these are God's children. They're like the chosen ones. And it's like, And they're just like, dude, I almost died like a billion times. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
So that was 21 chapters of that, and I read all of it.
Nice.
And I liked it. The ending was kind of what's the word? Like ambiguous. It just kind of ends.
Yeah, and that's always kind of difficult.
And then the very end is like, continue, coming next year or whatever. God says to. And this is an older manga, so God says to, the manga is already out. It's like 150 something chapters. And I was like, oh
shit! Like you've got an endeavor, bro.
Like the last one I read in like 3 days, and this one's like, great. There's no powering through this one. I just got to take it a little day at a time.
Take it easy.
So yeah, man, that's what I've been up to. That's what I've been watching. I know you haven't been watching much anime because
I've been watching like anything at all. Yeah. I haven't had any time. I watched like a couple episodes of Seinfeld, and Seinfeld's great.
Yeah, it holds up. Solid show. Cool. How about we get to the news?
Yeah, I'm fucking into that. So check this shit out.
Okay.
The anime industry earned a record-breaking 2.0 trillion yen in 2016, which equated to about $17.5 billion. And as we've been talking about shit lately, anime does not make as much money as it should. Because anime is our lifeblood. It's the only thing that keeps us living, wakes us up in the morning, it puts us to bed. Our waifus are here to support us.
That's not true.
And
we have lives besides anime.
Yeah, that is. Like I said, I haven't watched anime all week.
That's like you know how many times like we'll show up to like to record the show and we're just like, what anime are you watching? And we'll literally go, I've been watching many animes.
Yeah, just like I found this cool YouTube channel where a guy talks about fast food.
Yeah, you see that happens so often. You know what? 17.5 billion. If you listen to last week's episode, you know that Trips and I Network is 6.0 billion.
Yeah, so pretty much we're really, really close to being as good as anime.
So year 2016, that's 2 years ago, right?
No, it's like 1 year ago.
A year ago, okay, right. So it says they made
2017.
$17.5 billion.
Yes.
Didn't we just announce like last week that Netflix is going to drop $8 billion or something like that?
Yeah, but it's not exclusively on anime. It's anime and other things. Okay. But still, it's like, okay, maybe $1 billion of that is going to anime. That's like a fucking lot, and that's just for a year, you know.
I don't know, man. I would really wish they'd make more money than this.
I do too. I absolutely do, and but I think this is a great thing. Like, we are seeing growth in the anime industry. This is record breaking. That's fucking awesome. And there was something that I posted on our Facebook page from Crunchyroll. They've been in like. There's been a lot of this movement. Netflix is working with a bunch of different studios and directors and whatnot. And, it kind of gave perspective on what people think about these collaborations, people that are in the industry that are a part of this whole thing and why they're excited and talking about it. And I just feel like there's a lot more opportunity. And in the West, anime is becoming more and more acceptable. Everyone knows that anime is huge in Japan. Yeah. It's big in other areas too. Korea tends to enjoy anime a lot, and surprisingly, China, like, there's a big fucking cultural disrupt between China and Japan.
They don't get along very well.
But we've been noticing this animation studio that's been around for a year or so now. Between China and Japan, and
there's
they've
like
been making
teamwork.
Stuff.
It's not. I mean, not all of it's great. Some of it's pretty good.
Yeah, but they're a big part of it, and that's because China is actually one of Japan's biggest supporters of anime. Like, most of their gross income is from China.
You see, that's interesting. That I guess it's like breaking that barrier or whatever.
Because
I mean, I've talked to it's fucked up, but I've talked to Chinese people. They don't get along. I mean, I've talked to a bunch of races, like different races, and like more often than not, it's always talking shit about like, they're the fucking worst when they're like kind of like the same people, but it's like no, they're the worst. Is like I literally I talked to a guy, I think, a few months back, and he's Chinese. Yeah. And I thought he was Hmong, and I was like, where are you, like, from Laos or Thailand? And he's just like, what? He's like, I'm from China. I was like, oh, cool. And he goes, it's like, I'm not one of them dirty whatever. It's like, whoa. I was like, that is racist. I was like, that's hardcore. He's just like, yeah, well, that's how we feel. It's just like, I don't think as a people you all feel that way.
No, that's pretty fucked.
But I do know that it is real. There's just some disdain between the two of them. It's kind of crazy that like anime is something that breaks that barrier. Yeah.
Well, that's fucking awesome. But a lot of younger people in China are feeling less and less connected to their
culture.
Yeah, well, not so much culture, but just like the traditions that have been passed down between members of their family. So if somebody is a little bit more like, oh no, we only do Chinese things, like China is the best.
And like, fuck that, give me sushi.
Yeah, they're just like, hit me up with some of that fucking anime though.
Dude, give me some of that pho. I'm like, okay, calm down, guys.
Like, whoa, don't go to Vietnam already.
Whoa,
like, we're not ready for that. No, I think it's great though. Like, there definitely needs to be the cultural barriers broken. Just in everywhere. Like, I mean, look at us. Like, a beautiful Japanese man like myself and a beautiful Mexican man like you, we're working out.
For the longest time, I thought you were like a little Asian.
You know what? So many people do. And it's because
eyes.
It's my eyes. I got squinty ass eyes. It's because I stared at the sun for 2 years of my life.
That's the dumbest thing I've fucking heard.
That's fucking true, though. Why do you think
I
wear glasses? Why do you think I have squinty eyes? Why do you think my skin is like...
Your eyes are very narrow. They are narrow. Like, yeah.
I totally do. And,
but you're definitely not.
Well, yeah. And my eyes are a little bit better, like, if I'm not smiling, but my signature move is
to smile.
I fucking smile.
You force yourself to smile. You're always just like happy. Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it makes life fucking easier. Like, that was my thing at Starbucks, where, like, even if I'm having a shitty day, somebody's a huge fucking asshole. Yeah. If you smile at them, they probably feel like a little bit bad, and I'm like, fuck you piece of shit.
You kill them with kindness.
Yeah, exactly. I fucking love it. There are some people that come in mad, and then you like smile the whole time, and they go away happy, and I'm like,
I did that.
You're the biggest piece of shit in the world, and I just made you happy. And then you kind of question it. You're like, should I have made them feel like shit? Nah, they would have made me feel like shit. Like, I don't know.
And then you just smile. Yeah.
But even like people come up and they're super fucking upset, and you're smiling, and then they're fine, and it makes it all easier for you.
Yeah.
But if somebody else like comes back with like a little bit of sass, then their whole situation's way fucking difficult. And mine is just like, oh man, that's such a bummer. Like, totally cool though. I hope you out, bro.
I mean, going back to it though, like, I mean, it really, anime does really, break those barriers within races. Like, like Americans say we like football, and the people in Europe, no, it's all about soccer. People in India are like, no, dude, it's all about cricket. It's like, there's like, they're all sports, but they're all different. Right. Here we're just like, no, we're like, all these different races, but we all like Japanese, animation.
Yeah.
I mean, I like animation as just like in general. It's like, I'm a huge fan of it, but But to see anime be able to connect all these different races and cultures is interesting. And that's why I feel like $17.5 billion just like, I feel like isn't enough,
Yeah. It's been really weird now that we're on the whole race topic. Growing up, I only knew Japanese people, Hmong people, and white people that watched anime.
Right.
And that's just how it was, and that's fucking fine. And then getting older, a lot of anime that I saw popping up on like YouTube and whatnot, or things that people would link as like Spanish subtitles, and I'm like, oh, whoa, there's like a huge like, I don't know if it's in Spain at all, but it's a huge like Mexican.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I have a cousin who is, I don't know, he's probably almost 30. And I remember like meeting him for the first time when I was 15, and I thought he was a little weird, and I couldn't I'm like, I don't know, something wrong, like something off about him. And I guess he didn't really talk to me, and it's fine. I was a lot younger than he was. Yeah. He obviously thought I was like a little twerp. But then I got there when I was like, older, went back and I was like an adult now. Yeah. And him and I are talking, and I'm looking at the stuff he's like, and he's like, oh, he likes like Goku. I was like, cool, I like Goku. He's like, yeah, he likes this other thing. I was like, oh, I'm like, it makes so much sense. You like anime. I'm like, dude,
you're a fucking nerd.
Dude, I fucking love anime too. I'm like looking at his artwork, and he's not very good. He's not a very good artist, but I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing. Like, you're a fan of like this art style and this culture.
Right.
You like post stuff for this and that. I was like, man, that's cool, man. I get you now. And it is weird that like the other day I was talking to my friend, like this video popped up, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it. It's an anime. It looks great. Yeah. But the subtitles were in Spanish, and I was just like, I wonder if I could do this, because I'm, bilingual. Yeah. But I'm not the best reader in Spanish. Like, I'm not even the best reader in English. Sometimes I'm like, if it's too fast, I have to like go back. So like in Spanish, like, let's see if we can do this. So they're talking in Japanese. It's translated to Spanish, but my head has to translate it to English. So it's just like,
oh, that's hard.
It's like, cool. Okay, I know that word. Segoi is this. So I'm like, okay, got that. I did pretty well. I was actually pretty surprised. Like, nice. I was able to follow it all. It's like, this is interesting. But yeah, no, it's true. Like when we had that giveaway for the for that Fooly Cooly poster, so many like likes and clicks were for like people from Mexico. I was like, look at all these guys. It's great.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then there's also really big in the black community. There's a lot of anime fans, which also cracks me up, because like, I don't know, you see like different subcultures in every race. Yeah, and then there's always the fucking group of weebs that fucking love their
there's
anime.
always that group of just anime nerds. Like, what's your deal? I like anime.
Yeah, but like with white people, they're like neckbeards is like the general consensus. I don't know how it is in like the Mexican community.
Like what they look like.
Yeah, well, there are different conceptions of like
what an anime
like otaku anime fans in each subculture. Like you think of somebody who likes anime that's like a white kid and they're like skinny ass nerdy guy, or they're like a big fat fucking
dude
creep.
Yeah. And we're not either of those.
What is it in the Mexican community?
I'm not. Maybe it's like emo haircuts and like and like I don't know, like chokers. I think that's when I think about like anime fans from Mexico. It's that where they'll all have like a like their profile pic will be like something with a heart, and it's just like half of it's like skeleton or whatever.
Yeah. They're kind of like edgy a little bit,
sort
of.
But it's like that edgy, but it's like that soft shit. You know, it's just like my heart bleeds for you, and it's just like a really it's like a chibi thing holding something. I was like, oh, okay, that's just what I when I imagine like an anime, like a Mexican anime like fan, I'm just like, yeah, it's that.
That's fucking great.
God, we're so just like we're horrible.
No. But then like also in the black community, there is like I can't notice any discrepancy between like the people that post these videos that are like anime fans watching shit and whatnot. I'm like, this is just like the most regular fucking dudes. Like they just like anime, and I'm like, I kind of wish that that's how every community was.
We just all looked like similar. Like
we're like the same people. We're not like fucking huge dweebs and whatnot, or we're not like these little scenesters. Like any fucking person. Like there isn't like a general stereotype to people that watch anime. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can talk about that in a sec when we talk about A Silent Voice. But let's get to the last piece of news. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, a couple more things. So Netflix revealed that its 5th most binged series is The 7 Deadly Sins, which I thought was really fucking interesting, considering like I know that there are a lot of people out there that, you know, they go back to the sitcoms that they love. They'll pop on like Friends or How I Met Your Mother or something, and they just like binge the fuck out of that.
No, but do you think when they say Netflix series, it's like Netflix originals or like anything on Netflix?
You know what? That's what I don't know. It might be Netflix originals.
Yeah, because when you said like Friends and like How I Met Your Mother, like I think those would take it. Like honestly,
those probably would.
But if we're talking Netflix originals, I can think of maybe House of Cards is above it, Narcos,
House of Cards,
Orange is the New Black, and definitely Stranger Things. I can imagine those 4 things right off the top beating.
I mean, there's also a chance that any of the Marvel ones
maybe they really dropped off in quality. Honestly, like
they did. Yeah. I love Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too.
I tried watching Daredevil season 2, and I just wasn't as captivated by it. Yeah. And I haven't watched Luke Cage. I didn't watch that because I heard terrible things.
Yeah. I liked Luke Cage.
I haven't checked out The Defenders yet, but I want to see more Jessica Jones stuff. So
I liked Luke Cage. It was fine. I thought you know what the biggest issue with those things is? They're just too long. If they would cut it, they don't have to be 12 episodes. They would cut it to 6 or 7 or 8. They would be so much better. But at some points they just drag out. I finished Luke Cage. It was fine. I didn't even bother with Iron Fist because I heard it was so bad.
About Iron Fist. People fucking
Defenders,
hated that.
people say I have really mixed reviews. People say they either love it or it's like the biggest piece of trash in the world. So I don't know. I'm not really confident with what they have to offer for Marvel on Netflix. I don't know. It's up in the air. But like this is cool. To have Seven Deadly Sins be the 5th most binged. Good. I like this anime a lot. You weren't the hugest fan. I think it's great.
No, people fucking love this show, and like clearly people do. It's 5th most binged.
Yeah.
But I also thought it was interesting though that it's a Netflix original
in quotations. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
not really made from Netflix.
And Netflix is they're investing a shitload of money in anime. They are actually working with studios to get their own shows and whatnot.
Maybe someone called Netflix out on their bullshit. They're like, yo, dog, it's not yours. I
mean, maybe they were just kind of like testing the waters. Like, hey, we slapped this on fucking everything. Apparently, like Rick and Morty is a Netflix original in the UK.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I do know. Yeah, I heard that. It's in Australia, that's where it drops. It'll drop like on Netflix or whatever. Yeah.
And like that's really fucking interesting to me because I don't know, there's so many Netflix originals that are actually original series, like fucking Stranger Things. The hype around that is out of fucking control, and it's all Netflix done, and like fucking good for you, Netflix.
Yeah.
But also because of that, I'm like, hey, maybe you don't fucking slap your name on everything.
There's
there's stuff a lot that you make.
For a while, there was a point where like anything with Netflix original on it was gold. Like you could turn it on and be like, this is amazing. You know, it was like The Crown and fucking House of Cards,
Black Mirror,
all these things that. And then before I knew it, I couldn't keep up with it because it used to be like, oh, have you seen the new Netflix original show? This,
Yeah.
And now it's just like there's so many Netflix originals where it's like you can really pick and choose. A lot of those are fucking filled.
Let me watch some Big Mouth.
Yeah. Oh, that was bad. I know there's one that I would watch called Between. Oh, so bad.
I tried watching Sense8, which is a huge fucking show.
Sense8, yeah, people love that show.
People love it. And I tried to watch it. I'm like, this is just gay people having sex and some other weird shit going on.
DJ loved that show. Did you hear that? I don't know. This isn't part of the anime news, but apparently Pornhub was trying to acquire like the funds to make a new season of Sense8 and put it like and have it stream on Pornhub. That's how much
good
like
for fucking them.
Yeah,
dude.
the people who like the CEOs of Pornhub love like Sense8 so much. Like, yeah, we'll greenlight it or whatever.
Yeah, well, Pornhub has so much money.
Yeah.
That they're getting ambitious and they're doing like all these different things. They actually like. I don't remember what day it was, but maybe it was Arbor Day or some shit. They were like, for every video you watch, like we'll plant a tree, and they're like, millions.
I saw
of fucking views, like shit like that. It's like,
I saw that was a thing or whatever. Where like they'll do stuff like that, like, hey, for every time you watch, this genre of porn, we'll put this much money on breast cancer awareness or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Okay,
that kind of shit's like really fucking cool. And now that they're like. And also, maybe we do some other shit. Like, we're going to revive one of your favorite series.
We're bringing the Rugrats back. Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. That's hilarious. Cool, I like that. I'm all about that. And the final piece of news, moving right into it. Princess Principal has a special event in April 2018. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Pachinko machine.
But, like,
let's hope, dog.
Pachinko, I'm down.
Cool, man. So that is the news. Let's get into this week's topic. You and I watched A Silent Voice separately because where you were at, it wasn't airing, and where I was, it was funny. I was telling Sarah this like, yeah, Trip says we have to go to the movies on Monday, and he's just like, what? I was like, yeah, we have to watch this anime. And like, there's no way around it. We have to do this.
Yeah, and pretty much.
So yeah, I was assigned to do this. But I had been wanting to watch Silent Voice for a long time.
Right.
Because we obviously didn't know what it was, but we just knew it looked pretty, and people said
sure does.
It's great, and people were saying, oh, it's one of the best. And we're just like, well, fuck, I want to watch it,
Yeah, of course.
And so I went to the theaters. Speaking of like when it's a demographic, I absolutely did see the neckbeard guys there.
Yeah,
but I also saw people who like looked like me. I saw Latinos there. I saw a bunch of white people there. I saw black people there. What was most surprising was like, the movie started maybe 3-4 minutes in, just like it's like getting started, nothing too much has happened, and this like old couple walks in, like not like in their 70s, but like they're adults, their kids are probably in college now, but they were like gray temples and stuff, and like they walk in, and I was like, maybe they're in the wrong movie, and they're like, and they sit down. And they like sat right in front of me to the left, right next to the aisle. So every now and then I would pop over. I'm like, I wonder how these old people are enjoying this movie. And several times, like the lady would bring her glasses down up, and she'd like wipe her tears.
Yeah.
And then at one point, the old guy was just like, like I was just like, yeah, man, me too, homie.
Dude, that's a fucking movie though. But for real.
I would peek over every now and then. They'd be like, I wonder if they're gonna laugh at like the anime jokes, like the tropes or whatever. Because like every now and then they'd be like, oh, that's a dumb anime thing or whatever. And they laughed at a few of them. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I guess these jokes are universal or whatever.
Well, because you could understand a joke.
Yeah,
I don't know. Sure. Sometimes they're just set up that way. So
let's get into this. Yeah.
Before we talk about the whole movie, I'm going to give you guys some like little fun facts about the movie. First off,
here we go.
The studio that made it was Kyoto Animation, and we know that they make some amazing looking stuff. It's fucking brilliant. And then the director of the movie was Naoko Yamada, and she made the K-On! Movie first off, which is fucking gorgeous.
And she's a she, which surprised me, actually. I just felt like almost, I don't know if it's sexist or whatever, but every time we talk about directors, more often than not, we talk about male directors. So
yeah, for the most part, yeah.
So I was like, oh, when I heard that it was a woman, I was like, cool, awesome for her.
And she fucking killed it. So in 2016, when the manga ended, it was announced that there would be an anime adaptation in the future. And then in September of last year, September 17th, the film premiered in 120 theaters across Japan. So this movie's been out for over a year, and we're just now getting in the U.S.
It takes a while to get here. Plus, they dubbed it for us, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then A Silent Voice opened at number 2 in the box office in Japan, just behind Makoto Shinkai's Your Name, which is like everyone's favorite film of all time. And then this film grossed over $22 million worldwide.
Nice.
Which is like a pretty decent amount,
For an anime, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, those aren't like Marvel movies numbers, but like for an anime, that's awesome.
Yeah, pretty fucking killer. So yeah, we got a couple of days where this movie aired in the United States. And if you guys missed it, that's okay, because I would recommend buying this movie like as soon as it comes out to almost everybody.
Right.
I could imagine this not doing well with some people that it has a lot of darker themes and it doesn't exactly wrap them up in a nice way.
Yeah, no.
So if you're like having some kind of problems with depression and whatnot, you might relate to it in a lot of ways, but in other ways, it does not end happily per se.
Yeah, no, I'd say that there are things in this anime, specifically characters who try to give up on life or whatever.
There's a lot of dark themes, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But pretty much, this is a movie that I think is a very important movie.
I'm just saying, like, it's like the idea that the things that these characters in the movie, we don't want people who are too sensitive to be watching this kind of stuff and have that make them make a mistake or whatever. What I'm saying is like, but it's a great movie. Has but I agree that I do agree it's just like. Has a great age range, essentially.
Yeah.
Cool. So, do you want to get to nominations and awards later? Or no?
Yeah, we'll get into that. I think that this film was fantastic.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it was really good. I right off the bat, I like to say, I was telling somebody in school, I'm gonna go watch this movie, blah blah.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh man, it's awesome. It's better than Your Name." And I was like, cool. And at no point,
knowing that going in,
at no point did I ask him like why it was better than Your Name. Like I didn't want him to drive into it, but he was just like, he goes like, it's better than Your Name. He's like, if you like Your Name, you like this more. And I was just like, okay, good. And I didn't want to have him say anymore. So after watching this movie, I do think it's an amazing movie. I love the way it looks. It's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
But that comment where he said it's better than Your Name, I don't think it's better than Your Name in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think I enjoyed Your Name more. But what's great about this movie is that it's more grounded in reality, and so like the things like the topics they're talking about, the things that are happening can happen more realistically than a meteor destroying some. Right. Someone's like, so that's more realistic and it's more relatable, and it's like if you've ever been like bullied or picked on, like this, you can connect that way. So. Yeah, I'm just going to say that. I think this movie's great. I don't think it's better than Your Name, but I think it's an amazing film.
I wanted to get into this topic after we had talked about the whole movie. I just want
to say right now.
Yeah. I was going to bring this exact thing up.
Yeah.
I liked it more than Your Name.
Okay, that's good. That's great for you.
So like, I'm glad that we have different opinions. Like, but where would it lie? Like underneath Your Name?
Just barely.
Like,
just like
they're so fucking. Both are amazing movies. Yeah. And the only reason I like this movie more is because I related more to it.
Absolutely.
So that's different. And I figured that when I was watching it, I was like, I don't think Juan's gonna like this as much as Your Name. I know that he's gonna really like it.
Yeah.
But it's different. You haven't had the same kind of experiences.
It's minuscule. We'll talk about it in a second, like what the actual themes of the movie are. But it's just I feel like Your Name's a better love story, and I love love.
That's the thing. Yeah, this is not a love story.
No, it's not. And it like there are times where it almost feels like it's gonna be, but it's not that. It's totally,
which I think is amazing that they did that.
But I think Your Name is one of the most amazing love stories I've seen in a long time.
I think that Your Name is definitely like the best love story I've seen aside from like Train Man, which makes me lose my fucking shit.
But that's the saddest movie of all times. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so for me, that one was like, oh, it's amazing. And this one, there are topics I do relate with, not as much as that, But I do relate with some of these things, and I see the merit in all of it. I just feel like, in my opinion, like I like that movie more. This is still an amazing movie, and it's probably like if I had to say, like, you know what, it's right below it. Like it's like not even like if there's a gap, it's like you look at those fingers; those sons of bitches are close.
They're so fucking
close.
They're
like it's just I guess I was entertained a little bit more by the other one, but honestly. If we're going to talk about the movie, like it's a gorgeous film, like and
absolutely,
it's one of the prettiest things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
so much prettier than what we watched recently, No Game No Life.
Oh yeah.
Like and that was pretty, right? This one,
was
shit on
gorgeous,
how pretty this one was.
This was gorgeous, nonstop.
Oh, it was so great. Looked great.
I'm just going to go ahead and say now, we are going to ruin this movie.
Yeah, sorry, but we have to talk about it in depth, and so as movie is absolutely going to be spoiled. So please don't listen to this if you don't want us to spoil it, because we have to talk about it. There's no way around it. We haven't. You and I have purposely not talked about it because we want to hear what we have to say. So
absolutely,
go watch it somewhere else.
Here is the thing, though. I want people to see this movie. And
Me too, yeah.
I went into it blind, and I feel like I had a better reaction to it than I would have if I had known more about the movie.
For sure.
Like, each moment was way more powerful because I didn't know what it was going to be about, and I didn't know what was going to happen. And however they advertised it, if they advertised it as a love story, that would be a huge misdirect.
Absolutely.
So I don't know, but I feel like this is a very important movie for a lot of people to see. So if you want to see it, I would recommend watching it in whatever way you can, and that's okay. I'm going to buy it the second that I can because I love this movie.
Oh, you know what's great is like I literally after going home after leaving the movie theater, sitting down, like laying down in bed and thinking about the movie, I wanted to watch it again. I was like, fuck, I have to buy this. Like, because I was like, in my head, I was like, how can I rewatch that amazing thing? I was like, because they only had that one showing. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to buy this.
Pretty much.
Or I have to fucking download it somewhere, which I don't want to because whoever made this,
I felt fucking horrible that I had to get it illegally. Because the fucking
so much work was put into this. It's beautiful. They deserve their due. You know, their whatever minuscule amount of money that we're giving them for this amazing piece of work. They've earned it 1,000 times over. So I absolutely feel like the same way. Like when it comes out, I really tempted to want to watch it again and want to buy it again.
And especially with the anime industry, they don't make as much money as the just regular movie industry in the US, at all.
Absolutely no.
So I want to recommend everybody support this movie. If you can pay for it in any way, that's great. In the UK, you can buy it right now. I know that for sure. In the US, we don't have access to it yet, but I would recommend you buy it and watch it. And if not, rent it, do whatever you can. If you can't buy it, just watch it because this is a very important movie. Let's get into it.
Yeah, point is, like, we're going to spoil it. Go away. Unless you don't care. Unless you want to actually hear what we have to say about it, that's fine. But I honestly think it's worth, stopping this and watching it. Like, fuck the views or whoever's checking out this episode. Go do yourself a solid and watch one of the most amazing things ever.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Okay, so let's talk about what's the story here? Because you and I went in thinking it was about some boy who sings and girl who throws up and all this stuff, right?
Yeah, whatever it was. We were completely fucking wrong. Yeah. So it starts out and it's about these kids, this group of kids and their friends, and there's like a main boy, and he's like he's the hero that we're gonna follow through the movie. I guess
he's our main character.
Yeah, main character. Much better fitting for what this is.
What this piece of shit is. Yeah, absolutely.
So he's the leader of the group, and they roughhouse and they make fun of each other and whatnot. And then the new girl comes into class, and it's like showing kind of the boys going off on their adventures and like having a fun time together, and showing the girl, and she's like getting ready for school, and like she's talking with the teacher and like with him and whatnot. And she goes up, and he's like, this is the new student, so like everyone say hi. And then she says like her name, and everyone's a little bit confused because her voice sounds weird.
Oh, no, that's not what... Well, what happened was he was like, come on, introduce yourself. And she doesn't do anything. And he has to like tap on her, like, yo, like pay attention. And then she like brings up this notepad and she's like, yo, I'm deaf. I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
But we should be friends. And I was just like, oh, that's so fucking sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she brought that out, but then she said her name and it was all weird.
Yeah, she did talk, and it was like, okay, before we go into this, I have a question. I was going to mean to look it up. I don't know many deaf people. Do you know who's deaf?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I've been friends with a few.
So I do know that there are deaf people who, when they speak, they sound, I'm not going to say normal, but they sound,
It's really nasally. They don't know how their voice sounds. They don't know like where it resonates. Yeah. They know what to do. They know how to push out any kind of sound from their mouth. And they know how to form their mouth to make similar sounds, and they can read lips and understand what people are saying. Yeah,
but because they can't hear themselves, they can't hear what it sounds like. Yes. So it's not like, okay, for a while, for a long time, I thought like maybe like something was like not working, like physically, like it was actually something that's physically not like. I'm like, I'm saying like
it's not
like
that.
Like something's like not in the right place. But what it is like they have the ability to speak, but because they can't hear the sounds they make, and so it registers in this nasally tone.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's good to know. I was really honestly, because I was like, I didn't know how to come about it. I was like, I don't know many people who are deaf. So
no, there are some people and they have a lot of trouble talking. And then there are other people and they are hearing impaired.
Yeah.
And they still have trouble talking and speaking and whatnot, but they could talk and they just sound like they have a little bit of a speech impediment.
Absolutely, yeah.
But they're much easier to understand than somebody who's like fully deaf, like this, which is what we're seeing in this movie. So all the other kids in the class are like, oh wow, this is so crazy, this is so cool. And she's got this notebook and she's like, if anybody needs to talk to me, write in this book and we could talk to each other. And she was getting along with everyone fine, but then it hit a certain point where like people were getting fed up with her because she wasn't like them, and they had to work too hard to be friends with her.
They were considering her like a burden,
exactly.
It was like she was so kind, but it was almost like too kind, where it's like, God, like, fuck this bitch, like, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you felt about that, but I was like, for a second, I was like, I've been there before. Like, I know what it's like to have to go that extra mile. I'm like, God, you get frustrated, but then like you're just like, but then you're a bad person. You're like, you know what? I should keep trying or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really difficult to have that kind of patience to keep
absolutely.
Up. Like, there was a point,
especially with kids,
Yeah, there was a point where they were being told like, okay, read these pages in the book and whatnot, but the teacher's like up on the board and he's like writing stuff down and he's not facing them, so the girl can't like read the lips and she can't hear him as well because like even she has hearing aids.
Yeah,
and hearing aids don't do the best job at helping you like hear somebody. When you're deaf, you could feel the vibrations more.
Yeah.
You could slightly understand things. You could be more ready for whatever it is, but you still like have no way to hear pretty much.
So she needs like a cue, needs somebody to help her, like what he say or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So this other girl takes her notebook and is like writing down all the info for her that she's missing, and like that's a lot of work to have to, do almost everything to help out this kid. And I couldn't imagine, like, if you were deaf, you have to go home, you have to learn all this shit yourself, pretty much.
Especially like in elementary school, like, where, first of all, American elementary school is pretty chill. Honestly, that shit didn't get hard till around, like, what, like, 6th grade, 5th grade, maybe?
5th grade,
like, long division, like, here, like, oh, fuck, what's this guy, But I feel like Japanese culture, when we see school, it's always business. And, and they don't ever, like dumb it down for anybody. There's like you're a bad student, you're number whatever at the bottom of the class. You're the best student, you're number one at the top of the class. So this teacher, in like the way he is, I'm just teaching my class the same way I teach any other class.
Yeah.
And so you can imagine this one student helping this other student and being like, fuck, like now I have to like write your notes and then figure out how to write my notes. And it quickly became apparent that having a deaf chick in class and this cool notebook chick wasn't going to be as easy or as fun as they all thought.
Yeah.
And then we meet our main character who he's
a piece of shit.
He is. And you know what? And this is really interesting because I remember watching the bit, I'm like, that's our main character, you can tell, like, that's the main guy,
Oh, yeah.
And
it's playing the Who's, like, My Generation, and you're like, oh, okay,
he's like jumping like into like the river, and he's hanging out with his boys.
Looked like a lot of fun.
He was like, the way he would walk, I'm like, oh, this is a cool guy, and he took this turn where it was just like, he didn't know how to, I don't know what it was.
He didn't know how to talk to her. He was intimidated by her.
He couldn't.
Just a whole number of things.
Yeah, he couldn't explain why he was the way he was, but he didn't like her, and he was just horrible to her. And he would do horrible things like steal her hearing aids, right, and throw them away, and crash them. Take her notebook, throw it in the pond, pick on her, scare her. Essentially like yell and get, like, not like she can't hear it, but the vibrations, terrify her. And he would write things on the board and. He was just a bad guy and
really shitty kid.
I remember sitting there being like, this is our main character. I'm just like,
this movie is going to be hard.
I was like, it really set the tone for the rest of the movie. It was like, wow, this guy is garbage. And I don't care what the fuck happens to him. I hate him. Like, I literally hated this kid.
She was so sweet. Yeah. And I immediately loved her. And she would always say sorry. Yeah. She would apologize for everything. And he was like treating her like shit. And she's like, I did something wrong. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And like all of this was just like, fuck, man, I feel so bad for her. And, this main character, he was just being really difficult. And she was trying her best. And she even says at one point,
I'm trying. Like,
let's be friends. Yeah. And she like does the motion for friends. Like you, me, friends.
And he's just tried, he's like, nah, he didn't have it.
He thought it was weird and fucking gross. So he like threw sand at her and screamed at her.
But what was interesting is this whole, you and I saw this girl character. I'm like, she is cute. She's adorable. God bless her.
The sweetest little kid ever.
But then we have to think like these kids around her are also elementary school and they're not adults and they don't see, they don't think in that level.
Oh yeah, clearly.
They just think someone's different than me. Fuck that person.
And they did a great job of portraying how kids would be. And like, so they have this person come in to kind of like try to teach everyone. I don't know how this worked in your elementary school, but we would have parents come in and they would try to teach like other things to the kids. And they had an assistant come in and try to help teach sign language every morning, just like a few minutes,
a few words too.
Exactly, not hard at all. Yeah, and because I remember in 6th grade we did like really small yoga sessions, like a couple times a week. We had somebody's mom who was like a professional yoga person, like teach us things. That's just how it worked. You learned weird shit, but immediately they're like, nope,
we're not doing it.
This shit.
Yeah.
And that's because apparently all of the kids felt like she wasn't trying hard enough to learn how to interact with them.
Right.
Why should they learn
or they
to
were,
interact
they were saying
with
like
her?
they're like why should we go above and beyond, learn another learn this another language, sign language, like we can just use the notebook. And the like the aides there, she's like, yeah, the notebook's, it's a fine tool, but she's like, honestly, like learning some sign language would help you, would help her, be able in this class and understand him so much. But they're just like, because they're kids and they just don't want to do it. They're just like, no, we don't want to do that. That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
This is like, and now she's another burden. She's like, great, now we have to learn this other thing on top of all the other things we have to learn. And I remember leaving the theaters and being like, wow, they did an amazing job of portraying what it's like to be kids. Because kids are awful. Kids are fucking
shits.
Kids are horrible to each other, and they don't know. They don't know. Sometimes they don't know why they're horrible, and sometimes they don't know the effects of what they're doing to other people, because they're just like they don't.
Children
care.
Are selfish.
Absolutely. Because their entire lives growing up, they've been giving everything.
Yeah, they have to be like,
they've been groomed and taken care of, and so now like, cool, interact with other people, and there's like, no, I don't like the way you are. Now I fuck. So anyways, so what happens is they get to the point where the kid has he's fucking teased this poor little girl too much, and she's decided to like just leave different school.
It was after he had ripped out her hearing aids once again, and he like actually made her bleed. And like she still apologized after that.
Which is
trying to like
sad.
Smile and look like she was okay.
So there's like this meeting where like the teacher's there, and there's like, hey, this student, I don't want you, like, and this is what really got me. She's like, she's not coming back or whatever. We've informed her mom. Apparently somebody's been taking her. She's missing 8 sets of like, hearing aids, and like she says those aren't cheap. And as a child, I'm just like, holy shit, the concept of money doesn't even fucking matter. Like,
it doesn't exist. And then when they're like, that's not cheap, like this is,
they're super expensive.
And
they are super expensive. And so then the entire class literally turns on our main character, and it's just like, it's him. He's picking on people, and it
was not just him.
It wasn't just him.
He was the one who was kind of like doing the most.
He was spearheading it, absolutely. But other people like let him do it. And here's the thing about bullying, if you've watched someone get bullied and you don't say anything or you don't stop it, like you're just as liable as for what happens. Like, they didn't make the effort, and it was so much easier. So much easier to make him the scapegoat, especially when the teacher was there, and he also was like, it's all him.
I think that the biggest part of it though was other kids started treating her poorly first. But he was the leader. So he had to be the one that did the most of it. And, I don't think that he intended on doing it, but it's because his group of friends, they started being shitty to her. And then he was like, well, gotta fucking do it.
Gotta be
and
shitty
then
to her,
once he was, it didn't matter to him. Like, he's still the leader of the group. He's doing what they gotta do. Like, whatever. And then she's got to go away, and the teacher, he fucking yells,
bad
like,
teacher, horrible teacher,
like, stand up now. Everyone knows it's you. And then
he's like, admit to it, and the kid, obviously doesn't know. He's like, it's not just me, it's a bunch of So then we see a quick turn where now everybody's picking on our main character and doing the same shit. Like, they're throwing him in the pond, they're throwing his notebooks in the pond, they writing,
make his life hell.
They're writing horrible things on her desk, and then this sweet child is like going above and beyond, like, to erasing the things on his desk, and he's just like, what are you doing? Get away from my desk, you weirdo. And they literally fight. Like, they start beating the shit out of each other. I mean, kid beating the shit out of each other.
They start like hitting each other, and then she gets on top of him and is just like hitting him, and she's like
it's
winning
just like
or whatever.
It's just this point of frustration where he's like, it's been met. Like, they're boiling points. And then this really gorgeous scene where like he has to go home, and his mom is like informed of what he's been doing, and his mom goes to the bank and collects a bunch of money, and then he goes to see her mom or whatever, the deaf girl's mom, and she like goes to apologize and goes to give her money, and then like they walk away, and they come back, and like her ear's bleeding, and it's just like, oh my god, like it was like an eye for an eye. Like, your son hurt my daughter, I'm gonna hurt you. And
that was pretty fucked up. And I was like, like, I feel bad for the mom. The son really fucked up, and the son felt bad. He was just like, oh shit, I didn't realize this was affecting people. Like, I realized it.
Money, which she's like, she was obviously a single working mom at a hair salon, he knew that was an issue.
Run out of her own house.
And then he seeing her like be physically harmed by this other lady, like, not, but seeing it, like he put 2 and 2 together, because like he put it together, we put it together. I will say, I'm going to say it right now, I would like to nominate her for like one of the best moms in anime, right?
Fuck, did we find our best mom of the year?
Probably of the year. I don't know if she's the best mom of all times because the fucking
Of the
mom
year.
from Mom from Another is still fucking top notch. But this mom,
Another?
I mean, Erased.
Get the fuck out of here, Another.
Erased.
You suck, mom.
Erased. But no, this is a great mom, and like,
Yeah.
God, seeing that scene, like that whole interaction with the
tore me
money,
up.
that really got to me.
And I just so you know, at this point in the movie, every single scene had me like choking up. Every fucking scene, and it didn't stop.
No.
It's like, you know, it might have been like okay for a second, but it's still the same scene, and then something else happens. Like,
Yeah.
whether it's sweet, whether it's sad, whether it's just like anything at all, I fucking could not handle this movie.
No, yeah.
I was crying pretty soon, dude.
Yeah.
It didn't stop. I was
sent
just
me a
like,
text.
oh, fuck.
You sent me a text. You're like, yo, man, like this shit's no joke. Like,
Yeah, I was like, I just started this.
Like, it's got me in tears. I was like, I was in theaters, so it's like, you know, you're with a bunch of people you don't know.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
I didn't cry, but there was one point where I literally like I'd like turn my head and I was tearing up pretty hard. Like, oh man, this is fucking. And I'll tell you what that point is when we get to that spot. But I remember like seeing this. Yeah, but there was like this movie did give you the feels. And I mean, I when I was younger, I got picked on. I mean, I didn't get picked on like as severely as this deaf chick, but I did get teased and hassled. And you know,
sure.
I definitely grew out of it. You know, I feel like maybe it's like when we were younger, the awareness of being bullied wasn't as huge, you know? Like, it was just like, it's just a thing. They'll get over it.
Well,
now,
I mean, even if like they were like, don't bully people, I'm like, of course not. Like, we're friends. We pick on each other.
Yeah.
It's fine. Then you realize like that's bullying.
Like, oh, he's like, oh, if he's not a real friend, he's not gonna let it. You know, it's a kid mentality. Now, as like as an adult, I see other kids like bullying is like a huge deal. Like they make it like this fucking like it's like this biggest bomb. It's this time. I'm like, and I don't know. If this movie will resolve like the issue of bullying or whatever, but it is a huge topic that is brought up a lot, and it's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. And like I said, it hit me at some point, but not as much as like not to the point where I'm just bawling. But there were some sad moments in this thing revolving around the issue of like people being picked on and for like no fucking real reason, you know?
Yeah. So we're done with childhood.
Yeah,
that's fucking done. We go to the future and we're checking out what our main character's been up to. And you know, he's biking and then he's like signing things and he's like practicing signing and he goes and he winds up seeing the girl that he bullied and he's like going back, just not really to apologize, but just to kind of like check up and show that, you know, he's made an effort
to be different.
Yeah, like he's not the same person, and just kind of like show that. And I think that he wants to see that she's doing well too.
Yeah, he goes and I think he worries about her. It's like, I wonder how she's doing. Like, hopefully it didn't damage her beyond any repair.
Yeah, exactly, because he knows that he was fucking her, and he knows that he deserves it too.
Felt you know, it is. And he definitely felt guilty, but not to the point where he felt guilty. Like he felt like he needed to like, you know, to make amends and be like, I need you to forgive me. It was more like, look.
Well, that's not.
Because like, look, man. Because the thing is, he wanted to see her, right? Yeah. And when he saw her, he instantly like, you know, he wanted to see more of her. Yeah. But when he went there intentionally, he didn't think that was what's going to happen. He thought he was going to see her, and then that was it. And then he was going to fucking, you know, just kill himself.
Yeah,
which is
that
super
was his
dark.
intention. Yeah, he just wanted to check up on her and whatnot because I think that he didn't want forgiveness because he knew how bad he was.
Absolutely. He knew he was going to end it all. So like forgiveness wasn't the thing he was looking for. He just wanted to make sure she was like, okay. Yeah. But after seeing her, he's just like, wow, like I want to keep seeing you. And not a romantic way.
No, just in a like, you're doing okay. And you like, in a way, she forgave him without them actually saying like, I'm sorry or anything. Yeah. You know, she was still kind, and then they were talking and she was excited to talk in sign language with him.
She's like, you learned signs. Like, yeah. Like, you know, I picked it up or whatever. I decided to, you know, learn it.
I want to watch this movie again.
Right?
I'm gonna like choke it up here. Like, God, this movie is so fucking emotional.
Super sweet. And you know, he says like, hey, I think I understand what you were saying back in the day. Like, I'd be cool if you and I could be friends. And she's like, she's choked up about it. She's like, you know what? Yeah, let's like, yeah, absolutely. Let's be friends. Yeah. The thing is, we then later learned that our main character, because of the way he was when he was younger and the way, you know, he got picked on from then on until like high school, he's completely shut off from other people.
When he went to junior high, one of his like best friends or whatever from 6th grade that wound up turning on him, he was like, that guy's a bully. Don't talk to him. He's a piece of shit. So like everyone avoided him, and then, you know,
like the plague, like the fucking plague.
And people did the same thing in high school, but he had also been conditioned to not try to be friends with people too. So he just keeps to himself and he looks down, and it does this really, really cool effect where everyone has an X over their face, but they're also really detailed. Like,
it looks great.
They have an actual face under there. It's not just like, you know, background characters in certain shows. Sometimes they'll have like it scribbled out or whatever for their faces.
Right.
And they're like literally nobody. But yeah, these have detailed faces under them, and it looks really cool. And they're like, "Hey, I want to ask you about this or whatever."
I mean, he will if he has to interact with people who have their faces crossed off. But for the most part, it's his visual representation of him being like, I'm just shutting myself off. He doesn't look people in the eyes. Doesn't talk to people. Because he's made it up in his head that like, this person will never like me for me because I'm a horrible person. Yeah. And so I should just never bother to try to make this connection. And like you said, like they do have these, like, they look like stickers, right? Like on their faces. But behind the stickers, we do see facial movement. We see
emotion.
Yeah, we see. Yeah, it's crazy how we can see like because the stickers sometimes will change in size. Like it'll be smaller or bigger. So every now and then we can see an eyebrow. You know, like some people will talk to him and he'll like reply. Like one person asks like, "Hey, you know, like don't forget to turn your math book." Super kind. You know, there was no malice behind it, but she still has an X in it, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'll turn it in." You know, and he's just like super meek. So he's kind of just, you know, just away from the world. And so he doesn't really know how to proceed with being a friend. Again, we also said like he had planned to kill himself, which is like super sad.
And the way they brought that up too, like he had sold all of his stuff and he like left a bunch of money for his mom
because he did this long part-time work and he's like collected all what he's got. He just like went to the bank, cashed it out. It's like, cool, giving this to mom.
Yeah, just everything that he had. So he was giving it to his mom to make up for like everything that he had to put her through. And since he was going to kill himself, like he knew that she would be needing some money too. Yeah. And just like a whole bunch of things, the reason why he did it. And she's like, "Hey, thank you so much for this, but I'm going to burn it here right now if you don't fucking say that you'll never kill yourself. You'll never think about doing that. Like, don't ever think that because I don't want you to die." Like, essentially just like a really big, like, don't do this. Like, I really appreciate it. And I will keep this and we'll work so hard and we'll make things better and whatnot. And
but that's not the answer.
Yeah, exactly. So then as she's doing this and she's all happy about it and whatnot, she accidentally like burns the money. And it was like a really like,
it's a great moment, great time piece of levity in like such a dark topic. What's great is like the way they brought it up. It wasn't like, you know, she like came at him hysterically, like, "You were gonna kill it." It was more like,
no, it was just like, "Hey, honey, how's breakfast?"
Yeah,
like,
here's
whatever.
some food, whatever. And he's like, you know, and she's just like, "Hey, like, you know, like, why were you going to kill yourself like today?" Yeah. And then it was just like, you know, she found a calendar where he cut out all the days past a certain day because he knew that's as long as he was going to make it. Yep. But again, this connection with this former classmate and the idea of becoming friends kept him around a little bit longer. And for her to have this chance to talk to him about it. And it was super sweet, super heavy. And then like this moment of levity, it was just like an amazing scene. Yeah. It was like one of like my favorites. I remember seeing like that clip online. I was just like, and I'm like, what is this? I had no idea what it was. And I couldn't find anywhere what it was. I was like, and then when it popped, I was like, oh, I've seen this before. I remember he has like a little niece or whatever, right? She's like a little tan, you know, chick. Her name's Maria or whatever. Or she's Mary. Adorable. Oh, she's like the cutest little thing in the world. Yeah. And he's just like, you know, again, like having this really crazy conversation while like over breakfast. Fucking great. And we see, you know, and that's when like the movie starts going in towards, I feel like kind of like a positive tone, like, okay, man, maybe there's hope for this kid, because honestly, I hated this character.
I hated him, and then the next second I was like, I feel so sorry for him.
Oh my god, yeah.
I could not believe that. Like how quick that change worked out. I was like, you know what, he kind of deserves to be bullied. And then you realize like, no, his life is hell, and nobody deserves for their life to be that awful.
Especially when I was just like, you know, that moment where it's like, I don't care what happens to this kid. This kid's like the devil, you know? Yeah. And then to find out like, you know what? And no, like it's not right. And for his mom to go through that, like just like all the different layers they go through, has like, man, that's fucking heavy. And this is when the movie, you know, starts changing and stuff. So the pace goes up.
Yeah, it also really changes what it's about. Yeah. Like at first it was about the relationships between these kids and bullying and, you know, getting over that and growing as a person. But this became entirely about depression and about like growing as a person in like a normal, healthy way.
Absolutely, like learning,
like just a normal, like I don't know.
It's like about like learning how to communicate with other people, like learning like to not close yourself off for the world, because everybody has issues, and these issues aren't solved overnight, you know. Yeah, and you got to put the effort in. And so we see him meet one of my favorite characters in the movie
This was great. Yeah, I figured that this would be your favorite character, aside from like the main two. He
was like he's one of my favorite. He's an awesome side character. We see him earlier. He's just this kid that sits behind him. We notice him because of his funky hairdo, and he's kind of smaller. We also notice him because our character kind of looks over at him because this kid's eating alone also. Yeah. Again, he has an X in his face. We don't know what he looks like. And we have this scene where like someone's trying to steal his bike, and this kid's like pleading for help. And our main character,
he kind of steps in, but not in a way where he's confident. He's just like, hey, you need to, like, because the person that was trying to steal his bike or whatever, he was like, let me borrow it. I need to go do something. And he just chose like an easy target. So he's just like, you can borrow my bike. Yeah. Kind of meek, and then his bike was stolen. Yeah, so he's walking home.
It's like he didn't borrow it, like it was stolen. And
and then he tried to go meet up with the girl again. Yeah, and this is when there's another kid in the class. This boy comes up and is just like, nope, she's not here, so get the fuck out. Yeah, and then she goes back, or he goes back to her, and then she asks like, who was that? And he's like, it was just a dirty rat. Don't worry about it. And then so our main character is feeling sad that he couldn't meet up with her or whatever. And he goes out, and then the kid that he had helped out before is just like, hey, I'm so happy. This is crazy. I ran into you. I have your bike here. Like, it's one of the most adorable scenes. He's just like on the other, he's like, across the corner from like him. And he's just like, you see the kid holding this big ass bike, dorky looking bike, right? Yeah. And he's just like bouncing up and like, hey, I found you. Hey. And like his sticker falls off, And I was like, at that moment, I was like crying already. I was like, oh, fuck, you made a friend again. Yeah, and he's like, and they're talking and stuff, and he's just like, I'm sorry, what's your name or whatever? Because he's just so closed off and doesn't understand. He was like, what? He was like, I sit behind you or whatever. Like, we're in class together. And this kid instantly becomes just like he's a shining, like he's like a really shining star. Like he brings levity to the story. Yeah, he's able to like support him. He like instantly becomes like, you're my best friend. We're best friends because he's never had a friend, and he's so happy to finally have somebody that stuck up for him. Yeah, like if the main character had somebody stick up for him, was like, hey man, I got you. Like, don't worry about it. That would be like fucking great. And the main character would have been not as appreciative because they've been through different shit. Yeah. But he would have been super excited in his own way. So like seeing this was like, oh my god, that's so sweet. This is so sweet.
Because they're just like, then there's like a montage of them doing like best friend stuff. Like they go to the movies, and he's like sitting there watching this guy, and like they're eating like burgers and stuff, and they're talking. And
just like being friends.
They're palling it up, and he's like, hey man, me and me best friends. And he gives him a nickname. I don't remember what it was, but he goes like, what do you call me? Because it's just what I'm calling you now. I was like, it's like super cool, so that's what I'm gonna call you now. And I was just like, man, that kid had me fucking in stitches. I love that kid. Yeah, he was super dork.
Huge dork. And that's what I fucking loved about him. He was like a
short little pudgy dude. He had like a weird hairdo with a weird like part in his head, and then when he wouldn't be wearing his school clothes, he had like a shirt just said Hollywood, and he had like
a weird studded belt.
Someone described him in class. He was like later in school. Was like, he's like, yeah, the guy that looked like he shopped at Hot Topic is just like,
pretty much. What you're talking about. Fucking exactly that guy. Cracked me up.
So we see him, start to build these relationships with other classmates, and then he tries again to go talk to the deaf chick, and he runs into the same little boy, and he's just like, no. And then he's like, he says like, I think he says joking, like, she's not jokingly, but he says it and it's obviously not honest. He's like, that's my girlfriend, go away, Yeah. And then the fucking best friend pops up like, yo dog, is this little guy giving you trouble?
Exactly. I was like, holy shit, this guy coming in clutch.
Yeah, and then he starts like throwing down with this little boy, and like this fucking, again, the girl's deaf, she like doesn't notice what's going on. Yeah. And then eventually she sees people running to the door, there's this giant ruckus, and he's like, oh, there he is. And then they have the main character and the girl have another moment to just kind of feed the fishes with like some bread that he bought, and
they're again, like talking on the side, and
again trying to learn what it's like to be, what it is to be friends. And we see like the main, the boy from before and his new best friend, like they're like, this guy's like a photo, like a camera. He's like looking, and he reads lip because he reads sign because obviously, and so he's like translating with the conversation. Super sweet conversation. And then the story keeps continuing, and we have our main character now run into this boy with the camera. He's like beat up, and he's like, he doesn't have shoes. He's like in the park, and he's just like, you know what, like, you can come home with me. And he's like, nah, I don't need your fucking help. Like, okay, bye. And he passes out. I was like, okay, you're coming home with me.
So he drags him home, gets him a fresh meal with his family, and like he's been really nice and whatever. And it's just like a little kid, so he's trying to help out the best he can. And then he's helping this kid get home.
In the rain, like the kid like decides, like, and he sneaks out in the middle of the night. So the kid comes back, and the main character comes back. He's like, "Hey man, here's some shoes. Put them on. Like, I'll walk you home. Like, I get like there's some issue or whatever." And it's never stated before, but he, like clearly stated like what his relationship is with this girl besides like, in quotations, boyfriend. But he says like we live together. He's like we live together.
Well, that's a little bit weird.
But again, like the main character like so oblivious to anything. He's just like, like, he's like, well, I understand relationships can be tough or whatever, you know, like I'm sure, like he's like, why you guys fighting? He's like, I used her shampoo. Again, just a bullshit thing.
That's like a weird thing.
And he's just like, yeah, man, like it's okay. I'm sure you guys will work it out. And like they get to the, you know, to, like,
but they kind of like argue a little bit. Yeah, they're like, you know, you don't need to be fucking nice to me. Like, fuck off. Like, I have my own problems. You have yours. Like, stop caring about me.
I think the topic also comes to where he's just like, this boy says like, yo, you know this girl from before, like from elementary school. Like, yeah. And he's like, you were pretty horrible to her. And he's just like, yeah, no, I was. And, you know, it's like, and the guy brings up the top is like, I don't think like you, like, what are you doing? Like, you're trying to make up. He's like, I'm not trying to make up for anything I did. And it's like, I just want to be her friend, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like a really sweet topic. And like this character's leaving. And it's finally revealed that this character isn't a boy.
It's her sister.
It's her little sister. And he's just like, what? Totally looks like a boy. I mean, dresses like a boy, you know, young, looks like a boy. It's hilarious.
I think that I don't know if she was my favorite character, but man, she was fantastic.
She was up there. No, great character.
She and the best friend were amazing. Because really, there are a lot of good characters in this, but there are only a few that we spend a lot of time with.
Oh, yeah. Or characters.
So while the mom is absolutely fantastic, we don't spend enough time with the mom
but
to be like, she's the best character in the movie. Yeah. Yeah, it was fantastic. Just that reveal and everything. And you're like, oh, this is a more fun relationship that the main character is going to have with this character now. Because there was a little lie and the lie got revealed and they're like more okay with each other or whatever.
So let's see. Let's keep going. Happens next is, so obviously we find out that this little girl, you know, that we thought was a boy is actually the sister. And so then trotting towards them is, you know, the mother of both, you know, the girls. Just fucking goes right up to her main character, slaps that fucker right in the face and just like, let's go. Let's fucking, and she just grabs his daughter and goes, and he's just like, damn. And in my head I was like, oh, you need to do some work there. Like there's some unresolved shit in that situation. The show, I mean, the movie proceeds, and is this where we start seeing him build relationships with like former classmates again, or
not so much. Like he's still working with them and like kind of getting to know the sister and getting to know the main girl.
But I do know that like the girl asks like, hey, like I want to see this one girl in elementary school that did make the effort to become my friend, but she just left, right?
Yeah. So this is the point where like they had met up and they were having a good time, just like meeting for a second, and then there was somebody who came by really quick, like the girl who left or whatever, that was really meek. You know, they met up because the deaf girl was still friends with her. So they were like, oh, cool, this is great. Like, whatever. They're just kind of hanging out. And during that time, some other girl came up really quick and they were just handing out flyers and like, come to the cat cafe. And like ran by really quick, got a coupon for it. So then he decided that next time, and at this point they're all like texting each other, like have emails is what they said, and they're all sending each other messages and making plans and whatnot, and they're like, okay, just the guy and the girl, they're gonna go to the cat cafe together and just like see what's up. And this was the old friend who had been like the biggest bully aside from the main character.
That was the girl, right? We're talking about. Yeah. So
and she's the one that really encouraged the main character too.
But what I'm saying is, in this span, there's a quick span where we start being introduced to other characters. Like, there's the girl that was kind of a bully, but she was also the victim. Really, like, she was one of these like, I don't know, like head of the class, super like good girls, whatever. He stayed with school with him, so there was that connection. There was just some random guy, like this orange-haired dude, is like, hey, he wants to become your friend.
Yeah, because he was friends with that other girl, and he wanted to be that guy's friend because he's... I think they were like dating.
Or something like that, And then we also get introduced to this meek girl, this girl that was actually nice to the deaf girl, but just all of a sudden like moved or left away. And then we get reintroduced with this girl who's also Billy, and they, for some reason, this convoluted reason, all go to the fucking amusement park, right?
Yeah, but I mean, this is after a couple of important things happen where, you know, he saw her at the cat cafe and tried to like meet up or whatever, and then later on...
Oh, right, he has an interaction with her and the deaf girl. She comes up
again, because he's trying to meet up with a deaf girl, and he's getting ready to cross the street, when somebody hops on the back of his bike and it's this girl who was the bully from before, and she's like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Like chatting or whatever.
Like it's nothing.
Like, come on, go. Like we're friends again. And she's like, "Oh my god, is that deaf girl? Like,
what are the odds, right? Yeah,
this is crazy. Let's go like make fun of her." And he's like, "Nah, you should get off my bike and go."
Yeah.
And then he's like going, and she's like, "All right, well, just go. Like whatever. See ya." And then she starts running ahead of him and like takes out the girl's hearing aid.
Yeah, just to be a monster.
Like, yo, what the fuck? Like you're still a piece of shit. You're like an adult now.
Yeah. She's just like, here, throw it. Like he gives it to him, like chuck it. Like this is what you do. Is like, what? No, like we're in high school now. Like
like what the fuck?
Like haven't you changed? Haven't you learned anything? And it's quickly dawns upon us that this girl, there's something wrong with this girl. Like she's got some issues or whatever. And the main character says, you know what, maybe you should just leave. And just like, and she leaves, and this moment they have this conversation where she says, "Oh, you just have this fake friendship with her. You and her have this fake friendship or whatever." And the deaf girl, because she doesn't have a hearing aid, she's like, "What were you guys saying? What'd she say to you?" And he's just like, "Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it."
Yeah. And then we get to see another scene where he gave her this little cat wallet that he got at the cat cafe as like a gift or whatever, and so she had gotten him gifts in return, and they met up later on, and she gave him like a few things and was trying to say that she likes him. And there's daisuki, which is like I love you, and there's also skeet, which is like I like you. So she's trying to say I like you, but she has like a really difficult to understand voice.
She has a really like nasally accent.
And he thought that instead of saying I like you, he misinterpreted it as the moon.
Maybe it sounds similar. We don't know.
Exactly.
And he's just like, he was so confused. Like, why aren't you? He's like, why can't you just sign it to me? Like, come on, let's talk. He's like, no. I want to speak it. And there's just like this huge like problem.
Well, the difference is there's ski, which is Suki, and then there's tsuki, because daisuki is like a whole different thing. Anyways, so he thought, because I don't know if you remember Sokka's, girlfriend who turned into the moon. Yeah. Her name was Yuki or whatever, snow, and like she turned into the moon because it's similar. It's a whole play on words.
I get it.
From Avatar: The Last Airbender. Anyways, going back into it. So he misunderstood, and then she was really embarrassed about that. So that had just happened, and then they're all becoming friends. Yeah, and so those were a couple of important things where it's like they're becoming friends. They're all going to the amusement park,
and stickers have fallen by now. Like more stickers. Like when I say stickers, like the X's on people's face have fallen, except for the girl that's mean. Still,
yeah, the girl who was mean, she lost her sticker, and it was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. But then she was a piece of shit.
Quickly got her sticker back,
and like, oh, okay, so she's a part of the group where nobody has a sticker except for her.
Yeah, which I feel like was really visually wow, it was
powerful.
This is powerful. Like, look, they weren't like, well, we're just not gonna put the sticker. It's like, no, she's still in bad graces with him. Like she gets a sticker. She convinces him to like go get, I don't know what it's called. It's that round food or whatever. They go get some snacks.
Yakisoba.
And when they get there, like the guy who's the cashier is like his old friend that's like in 6th grade. Remember that?
Yeah, of course.
And then he's just like, hey, what's up, man? Long time no see. And like instantly, this guy shuts down. He just remembers all the horrible things that happened.
Because that was the kid that bullied him the hardest.
Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't like. I mean, I'm sure he like physically like threw him in the water, but like it was more also like he was the ringleader this time. Like he was he acquired the power. Like the power. Like he was the one in charge. No one's talking to this guy. Yeah, he's garbage.
He knew that this girl was still like kind of a piece of shit, and she's the one that made she's the one that made him go and get this food and like go off separately. Yeah. So clearly she had already known that he worked there.
Absolutely, yeah. It was totally plotted out.
Yeah. So he's just like, no, I don't want to be a part of these people's lives. Like they're mean, they're bad people. I want to be good. I want to like just do good things. I don't want to be around this.
He's like, I'll never forgive them or whatever. And then he's just like, wait, I did the same thing though. Like I was them. And the mean chick, whatever. She's like, she literally says like, I just thought like we could all just start hanging out again and all be friends again and all be cool. And it's like, it's not that easy, I'm sure you can say sorry, but like, it takes a while for it's like, if I apologize to you, it's like, cool. That's like the same sorry is the bare minimum. Like,
yes, it really is. It's you have to show that you're sorry rather than just saying it. Yeah.
It's not, and it's also like showing like, oh, here's $100. I'm sorry. That's, there's steps to like apologizing and like steps to make things better. And just like dropping this on somebody was like really the wrong way. And then this really other fucked up scene that happens where like this girl that's, she's she has an X on her face, but no one else sees that X. They all see just like a nice person or whatever. She wants to go on the ride on the merry-go-round with the deaf chick.
Yeah, and the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, the Ferris wheel. And then the sister convinces her, like, hey, hold my camera. I got to go to do this roller coaster thing. And the reason she did that was because she had a recording because she wanted to hear or see what happens up there.
The sister is one of the smartest people.
Oh, yeah.
And she cares so much about the deaf girl. She just doesn't care about herself. She's so invested with making sure that she's living an okay life and she's looking out for her sister. And she's really smart,
super mature for her age.
Knows that this girl is horrible.
She knows she's bad. Like, this girl's bad news. Like, she gets bad vibes from her.
Yeah,
and honestly, like, she was right to get bad vibes. Like, we later see the conversation that's like held in like the Ferris wheel, and at this
point, the main character and the sister, they're like best friends.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not best friends, but they talk about more than like
just like
him and his best friend do, because they're looking out for
because there's this other connection there. Yeah,
there's a really there's a more dark connection between them.
Because the best friend, like, he just came into the situation. He's not from middle school. He knows nothing about what went on in the past. But this girl knows, and this girl has seen the merit in our main character and seen, like, you know what, he's a good guy. He just, so there's that bond. And we see this video where she's like, look, let's talk. And she's like, okay, well, he's like, no. I was like, I'll talk really slow, read my lips. I'm not going to sign. I'm not going to write your notes. And it's just like, look, I hate you. Like, I think you're the fucking worst. Essentially, she's like, you're always apologizing to people. It's like, you don't know how hard it was for us, like in middle school, elementary school, having to just you be thrown in there. Like, yeah, it was fine, and then like you just became too much, and you wouldn't catch a hint, and it was just so much, and like that, like as an adult, because she's older now, you're like, you see that frustration, that she had to go through, like this extra step,
it all comes to life,
right
and
there.
See,
and you and I were talking about earlier, like kids are bad, as adults we see that kids are bad, and when kids get older, hopefully they realize the things they did were wrong,
right?
And she realized they were wrong, but she's not taking all the blame. She's like, look, you wouldn't make it easy for us. What do you expect for us? It's almost like she wants her to take the deaf girl to take some of the blame.
Yeah.
And the deaf girl takes all the blame, and she gets super fucking mad. She's like, don't you fucking apologize to me. Like, be real with me. You're always just saying sorry. Look, like, I hate you. Just say you hate me, and we'll continue on, and we'll move forward. And the deaf girl's like, nah, I ain't doing it. This chick just slaps her. Oh, man, that made me so mad.
God, yeah. And then it gets a little bit further, and, we've been dealing a lot with the main character being really depressed.
Yeah.
And then we just find out about how depressed the deaf girl's been. And there's a really big focus on how depressed she's been and how the whole family is just concerned about her, but they need to be concerned about themselves too. And the grandma is really trying to say that to the little sister. Like, you know what? You spend too much time thinking about your sister. You spend too much time looking out for her.
It's like, go to school.
Think about yourself. Yeah, you're not giving yourself all the time that you need as well. So there's a little bit of talk with that, and we get to introduce the grandma, and we start enjoying the whole family, and then the grandma dies very soon after. And there's been little parts which kind of lead you to think, like, you know what, there's something medically going on here.
Did you think the medical problem was with the grandma or with the sister? Because there's a scene where it's a little cut scene in between, right? And it's just like the grandma is talking. They're sitting with the deaf girl, and like the doctor's saying something, and like, the grandma's just like nodding her head, and then the next scene is she's like, the sister's in her bed and she's really upset. I just have an earpiece scene, and she's like bummed out, and she doesn't want to say why. I thought it was like, I don't know, maybe
you thought the sister had bad news or something like that. There was some bad news for the sister, like maybe her deaf was completely gone, even her hearing was complete. But when that twist pops up, because we see our main character run into his new friend, the younger sister, and he's like walking her to a funeral, which is, like, again, not really well, like, it's not really, told until, like, which is great. I love the fact that, like, they're able to, like, do all these things, have these conversations, and then at the very end, they'll give us, like, here's the context, and, like, everything I heard for the last 3-4 minutes just changes completely. Yeah. And then, because when they do that, it hits you with like a huge wave of emotion where you've been trying to figure this out, and you're like, okay, what's going on? Yeah. They tell you, and you're like, oh God. It's just like everything has different meaning that you just heard, and it comes so quick. Yeah, like it was just like the conversation we're having, I was like, oh, she's just nervous about going back to school because she's like wearing a school outfit or whatever. Yeah, yeah. And it's like, no, she just doesn't know how to handle the death of her grandmother, which is super fucking tough because, like, she's a kid. Her sister, even though she's also a kid, like
it's just so much. It's just shit on top of shit on top of shit.
Yeah.
And like, how do you fucking go through that? You know, and it was just, that was a really touching moment. Like, it was like, holy fuck.
Right.
I didn't like that. That's something that choked me up, but that moment really like, oh man, like it's a great insight to see that like, yeah, this guy's depressed, but this deaf chick also has her baggage.
Right.
And we don't see it as much because she's always trying to smile and always trying to apologize.
You know, the way that she apologizes and everything, she puts blame on herself for everything. And then you find out that she's depressed and she's having so much trouble.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel like terrible for her. And you want her to like feel good and be a part of this friend group. And like everything's kind of working out and looking okay.
Yeah.
The grandma died, but everyone's still there for each other in a way. But what had happened, like right before the grandma died, there was a big altercation.
Huge clusterfuck of like, this guy's a bad person. No, you're a bad person. We're all bad people.
They all kind of blamed each other.
Exactly.
And all went separately. And they're like, you're a piece of shit for even bringing any of this up.
And all the stickers come right back up.
Yeah. So then nobody's friends anymore.
Yeah. And then our main character tries really hard to like, you know, just like, oh, I'll just be the best friend to you. And it's like, it's almost, it's laid on way too thick. It's like, what are we doing tomorrow? What are we doing this day? You know?
And the reason he's trying to do that is because he wants to make sure she's staying positive because her grandma just died and whatnot. And they're like, you know what? We kind of have plans. And then he's like, no, it's cool. Like, I'll
can come,
do whatever, you know, it's going to be great. And then, you find out it's the mom's birthday.
Which is like, fucking money.
Fuck,
because
man.
he's like, should I be here? He's like, don't worry about it. It's fine. And then as soon as she gets in, they make this beautiful anime cake.
Yeah.
She gets in, she's like, what the fuck's this piece of shit doing in here? And he's just like, oh no.
Yeah. And like, you know, he's fully expecting to like get murdered right there. Yeah. And, you know, the little sister made a joke like, yeah, I mean, you might die, like,
which is awesome. Whatever. Yeah, and but you know, the deaf chick's like convinces her mom, like, calm down. It's your birthday. Like, we worked hard for this cake. Don't ruin this. You know.
Yeah.
And so they have this moment, and you know, the mom isn't sold 100% on our character, but she's
getting there.
We do see him like the iceberg melts a little bit. We're like, okay, she's seeing that he's not all bad. Story continues or whatever. Is this when they go to their like, what's next? Is this? I can't remember because something horrible happens. I don't know if it's that scene yet.
Yeah, we're almost there. So everyone kind of stopped being friends, and it shows like regular life for a second, and then there's the big fireworks festival.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
yeah. So they all go like as a family. He's joining the deaf girl, the sister, the mom.
Yeah, he's invited. He's like, hey, come, let's watch the fireworks together or whatever.
Which I thought was great. I'm like, this is a good bonding moment for the whole family.
In anime, fireworks are so gorgeous.
It's fucking great. And the whole festival, everyone's all dressed up, and it's fucking gorgeous.
Except for the younger sister's like, nah, I'm gonna wear like t-shirt.
And that's totally the sister's jam. And
awesome,
I loved that about our character, that she was just doing her thing.
So I'm not gonna conform to anybody.
Yeah, exactly. So they go to this festival, and everyone's having a great time, and they're eating food and whatnot, and they're sitting down on the hillside, and then the sister's like, hey mom, let's go get some stuff, kind of like, you know, to leave the two lovebirds alone. I think that's what her intention was.
I picked that up too. Yeah.
And you know, they're watching and they're having a good time, and the girl's like, hey, you know, I have homework to do,
I'm gonna go home.
Yeah. And the guy's like, that's pretty fucking weird, but like, all right.
He's like, let me walk. He's like, nah, don't bother, it's cool, homie, or whatever.
Yeah, and he's just like, huh, how strange. And the sister and the mom get back and like, where'd she go? And he's like, she said that she had to study. And the sister's like, oh, fuck. I totally forgot my camera at home.
I need my camera. Yeah.
Go get my camera for me. I'm going to hang out with my mom. I don't want to make you stay with my mom, so you go get my camera.
Super smart, yeah.
Yeah, fucking genius. But she also didn't really know what the sister was doing or what was going on at all. So that wasn't a part of it.
There's another chance of being like, you know what, just get out of here. I'll handle this. Just go get our camera.
Yeah, exactly. So sister's looking out for everyone. She's being the best. Doesn't know what's happening. So he gets to the house and he's just looking around like, oh, where's the camera? There's the camera. Oh, hey, what's she doing outside? Like, she's watching the fireworks still. And then she starts climbing up on the railing. He's like, no. Like, no.
Yeah,
because he knows what she's doing because he's been there. He wanted to do that.
And she's taking out her earpiece. Like, her hearing aid. So, like, even though he's yelling at her, has no clue, you know?
No.
Doesn't even fucking know. So he fucking miraculously, God, was this suspenseful, catches her while she's falling.
Yeah, like barely catches her, and he's leaning over the edge, having a hard time and whatnot. And she's
like
looking up.
He's like a scrawny little guy, you know? He's like, come on, get up. And like, I think there's that moment of like, she realizes
people care about her.
Or she made, like, this was a mistake. She doesn't really want to die.
And so that's what so many people go through.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's so many times people, you know, that have tried to commit suicide. They're like, they regret it instantly.
Oh yeah.
So she this moment of this mistake, passes, and she, decides to pull herself back up. But while pulling herself up, the main character falls down. Like he gets pulled down, she gets pulled up, and this fucker hits the ground like hard or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like,
and then he falls into the river. It was fucking rotten. And then we have a horrible scene where like we don't really know what's going on. There's hospitals, there's ambulances, and we get a quick glimpse of his two friends, from like elementary school, like what's going on.
Yeah.
We later find out, he's in the hospital. He hasn't woken up. He's stable, but they're doing the best, and the deaf chick is like has her arm, fucked up. And this is the scene that really got me, where his mom is like going to the hospital or whatever, to see her, and like the mom for the deaf chick's there. It's like, hey, runs into her, and they know each other, obviously. Remember, like, and he's like, I just want to apologize for all the trouble that my daughter's caused your son. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. And then she just fucking bows and like just fucking puts her head to the ground. And then the younger sister like also bows really low. She's like, what do you know? I was like, come on, don't do this.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
Like that moment, like I was tearing. I was like, oh my god, this whole 360. This like from the point where like back in elementary school, like he did this horrible thing to her daughter. Yeah, and like she went to repent, and now this girl this mom feels super guilty about like. Obviously she's fucked up because of what her daughter tried to do. She feels bad about this nice kid that saved her life, and she feels bad for this mom putting her in a situation. It's just it's all this crap, and like literally like, I was like, oh no, don't cry on.
Yeah, and not only that, like the main character's mom was also like, hey, I'm sorry that like my son put you through so much shit. Yeah. Like she's trying to apologize right then and there, and the sister's like, no, it's my fucked up sister that did all of this shit. Like your son is amazing. Yeah. And to turn around from like that was another part which made it so fucking difficult to hold myself together. Like this kid was the worst, and he treated the deaf girl like shit and was just a terrible, terrible person. And then he turned it all around, and all I could hope for, bad, and he saved her life.
Like, please be alive. I was like, please don't die. Yeah. Oh my god, if you die, I will be distraught, because this is definitely like this story is like, if anything, it shows that people can change, and for the better, because again, like I wanted the worst things to happen to this kid, and then after seeing how much he's grown and what he went through, I was like, oh, like please make it through. Like if this kid does not wake up from this whatever coma, or is like, I was gonna fucking lose it.
Absolutely.
It was horrible.
And, the bully girl was the one that was coming to visit him like all the time, every day, making sure.
Super defensive.
Yeah. Making sure he's okay and all that.
Wouldn't let the deaf girl anywhere near him.
Which was really sad.
Super
and then
fucked up.
They got into it, and they started fighting outside.
Well, it was more like the mean girl beat the shit out of the deaf girl, because the deaf girl was not fighting back. She's like, no, I deserve this. I'm a trash person. And then the deaf girl's mom comes up, starts whooping the shit out of the girl, and it's just this fucking all out brawl.
And that's when the main character's mom comes in and breaks them apart. Yeah. It's like, guys, stop it. Like
he's like, we're at a hospital, please. Like, like my son is like up there. Please stop.
Man, that was a fucking emotional roller coaster through all that.
Then we see this really good, the
animation changes. We get the whole like dream sequence type thing going on.
And our character does eventually wake up. The girl, I think she's making the effort to get to talk to the other other people. The other class. Like, look, like the girl that left her feels guilty because she abandoned her.
Right.
And she's like, look, you can't feel that way. The other girl's like, you teased me, it's fine. She's making the effort to like bring these people together, because when our main character wakes up, she wants there all to be there to support them, right? Because they are friends, even though they've gone through some fucked up shit and this thing in their past keeps coming back up. She's making the effort, and we see this. She can't sleep. She's running to the bridge where they would feed fucking fish, and then our boy wakes up and he's like, "Oh, dude, what the fuck? I gotta get out of here!" And runs to the same spot. And had this really touching moment. And what really makes me happy at this moment is like, he talks about, how he feels, and, saying that he apologizes. Like, he goes, I don't think I've ever said I'm sorry, cause his goal never was to try to repent, cause he's just planning on ending his entire life. So he's like, look, I don't think I've ever said I'm sorry. And like, there's just like this really back and forth, beautiful moment. Like, no, I'm sorry. It's like, look, we're both sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Really good. Just repairing their relationship.
Like this honest thing.
They had gotten in an argument before, and then they were making up and everything, but then things weren't great, and they didn't feel that close, and she clearly like was ready to die.
It's this huge strain gets fixed. Those relationships that had this strain of the relationship gets fixed. And you know what I really like? I really appreciate the fact that the topic of love didn't come in at all. Like,
oh no,
like at no point was like, they were like, I love you, I want to be with you forever. He wasn't like, oh, I've just realized this too. It was, I'm sure there are feelings like either way between the two of them. We obviously know the girl likes him.
Yeah,
but they didn't make that the forefront of the story, which makes me so happy.
Right.
Which I feel like it would have definitely taken away from me if they would have been like, okay, and it's when they kiss and they're happily ever after. Because there's still more to the story. There's still like, my head is like, oh, please don't end here. Because I was like,
right,
because like this isn't the ending. It wasn't, thankfully. We now see the main character talk to like the deaf chick. He's like, look, I need help. I need to figure out how to communicate with people. I need to figure out how to become these friends, and I need you to help me do this because I don't know what I'm doing. And I'll help you. You help me. We'll do this together. And it's so beautiful because they go back to school. It's a school festival, which is like the worst time to come back to school.
Everyone's doing this shit.
And everybody's looking at him because like, oh, that's the kid that was in the hospital. That's a kid that fell off a balcony. Right. You know, it's just like, holy shit. That's especially for our main character who won't look at anybody.
Yeah. And
exes galore.
He's she's just like, you know what? You don't need to look at people. You don't need to worry about it. This is all about you right now. You're important. Take care of yourself. Yeah. And then
she's like pulling him through the crowd. He's just like super embarrassed looking at the ground. Like, I don't think this is what I meant. And then we see this awesome, reconciliation between the best friend and him, you know, in the bathroom.
In the classroom and he's just like
overwhelmed.
Yeah, he can't handle it, so he just runs to the bathroom, feeling sick, feeling like this isn't okay. And the best friend is like screaming his name.
He's like kicking the door. He like opens the door. He's like, I love you so much. Like, why? He's like,
I'm so happy you're okay. Yeah. And he's like, but I was so mean. He's like, fuck that. Like, we're friends, dude. Yeah. He was like, I'm like the worst person. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, like I love you so much. We're homies for life.
Yeah. Like he's like everything you said to me, like, it's fine, like, just forget it.
And guess what, our ex falls off again. So happy, man, the whole thing tore me up. So then all the other people come out and they lose their exes and they're all talking and they're feeling better or whatever. And even the girl that was a piece of shit the whole fucking time, she comes in and she signs a couple of things, and then I'm like, god damn it, wow, she's making an effort. Absolutely. And like, I can't. She's like, you know what, like, I don't like you yet, but I need to learn.
Absolutely. That's and that's a really good moment too, because earlier with the character, our main character says, like, I can't look them in the eyes, and the deaf chick says, hey, it's fine to look at the ground if you have to look at the ground. And we see him surrounded by all his friends, and he's looking down at the ground, and the ground's so like clean and smooth. We see the reflection. I was like, oh, this is fucking gorgeous, and he explains to them, look, guys, like, I'm sorry for anything, put you through or whatever. Like, I'm sorry for what I've done. The things I said, they were, out of pocket essentially. And I really would like to be your guys' friends. And like, I just need help doing that. And they're all like, yeah, man, like, we care about you. It's like, we did horrible things too. Let's get through this together. And it opens this, this bridge of communication, and then the exes drop and like everything's fine again. And we do see the really evil chick come through, and she's like, she'll never, I don't think ever like not hate the deaf chick, but she's making the effort to be like, look, you're a part of these people's lives. I want to be part of those people's lives. We're gonna have to coexist, and I'll do the best I can. And like the moment she signs, and like the deaf chick sees her signs, like, holy fuck!
Even the deaf chick was so excited. She's like, I feel bad calling her the deaf chick, but the thing is, they all have like, her name's like Shoyo. I don't know. And they called her like Shochan for short and whatnot.
The main character had a really hard name.
Exactly. So. Apologies for fucking just saying the deaf chick over and over.
Whatever.
But she like tears up and she's like so excited about it, and a really emotional ending to it.
Yeah, really good, beautiful, like just beautiful shot where he's now walking to the festival. He's like looking up, and everybody's ex just drops all at once, and he's just like crying uncontrollably, and that's how it ends. And I like the way it ended a lot. I thought it was.
I did too.
I actually I was really enjoying it. The fucking credits start rolling, and like, this is nice. And then like two fucking assholes behind me, fucking A, they're just like, yeah, they totally missed the whole the whole arc with the movie. That it's kind of huge, blah blah blah. And I was like, fuck these guys. So I do want to make the effort, because like this isn't an anime. This isn't an anime. It's just a movie, Yeah. I'm gonna make the effort to go read the manga, because it's a great story, and I don't know how long it's gonna take before I can buy this shit.
Hey, whatever.
And I do want to get my fix on it. So maybe there's more to the story, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you did read the manga, and maybe you're one of those assholes like, it was better, they didn't do it right. this was a fucking great show.
It was beautiful.
Great anime.
And like, even if they left things out, they had the whole story there that made sense, and it developed itself in really beautiful ways. The animation was killer. The voice acting was killer. The music was great. Every single part of it, they worked so hard, and it absolutely showed.
Yeah.
I think overall, like, I connected with the movie a lot. I've had a lot of different points in my life where I've struggled with depression and friends and like a whole bunch of different things.
For sure.
So seeing these characters go through these things and show like really realistic portrayals of these situations, it just made like so much more emotional over everything and the families and how everyone was involved, and like you really see how people care in different ways, but the main characters don't see that.
Yeah.
You know, they're blind to it because they're just so depressed. And that's how depression works. You know, you don't have any control. It's just there's something wrong with your brain and you need to work actively to fix it.
Right.
But it's hard. You don't want to have to work because you feel like shit the whole time. Anyways, there are a couple of points that I thought were really strong. Like, you know, we got the whole scene where they were baking a cake or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, hey, yeah, when's your birthday, by the way?" And she's like, "Oh, you know, it's this date." It's like, "Oh my gosh, it was already your birthday. It passed. Well, we'll have to celebrate it together next year." And he's like, "Together." And then she was just like, "Yeah,
sure,
yeah." And then that's like right when she goes to kill herself.
Is that when they were baking the cake, or is that when they were? No, that was a fireworks scene.
Yeah, they were hanging out together, saying that.
Even before, I did feel like there was some weird vibes going on. You know, it was, and then there was like
she feel like, normal.
I was like, I got it, because she was like such a positive character, you know, and like, and we slowly see her decline, and it's not like super noticeable. You can see it.
Yeah.
And there's a moment where she's like, I got to go do homework. Like, you're like, it's like vacation or something, right? Or you got to go study. It's like, what are you studying for? And it's like, no, don't walk. And he's like, and I was like, in my head, I was like, no, walk her.
Yeah.
Like, go, don't let her
Something's
go alone.
Wrong.
I was like fucking triggered. I was like, oh my God, something's horrible is gonna happen. And then we get to that scene where he's like sees her on the balcony. I was like, I knew it. I fucking knew it. This bitch is gonna die, and I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I'm so sad right now.
Yeah.
It was. Oh man, that was a really strong moment.
And then after that whole situation happens, the little sister, she's taking these like morbid photos and whatnot, and they like encourage her to submit something to this magazine and like try to win an award and like just show off her work and whatnot. And she's like, no, everything's so morbid and gross. Like, people don't want that. They'd show something that worked out and it was great. And she wound up winning an award and like people recognized her and whatnot. Anyways, the reason that she tried to do all of these morbid things was to show how it affects people when things die, to make her sister not want to kill herself.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really powerful, how, you know, this whole time people have morbid curiosity with different things, and that's kind of like her deal. And I thought that was great. But then, to have a reason behind all of it be that she wants to like shock her sister out of like these thoughts. Yeah. That was sad. Like, all of it was so sad and emotional, and I just really, really connected with the movie. And, you know, my sister's gone through a lot of shit too, where she's tried to kill herself and had all these issues. And I was watching it, and I was at a certain point where I was like, yo, Emma, I think you should check out this movie. And I was texting her and whatnot. And then I'm just like, before I sent, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be okay for her, or if it would like really, really affect her and make her like bring back all these bad emotions or whatever. So that's why I feel that like this movie is incredibly important in a lot of ways, because it struck a chord with me where I was like, this is fucking incredible. Yeah. This is one of the best things I've seen, and I wanted everyone to see it,
but not everybody should see it.
But then I was worried about that. So it's so powerful, so strong that it felt bigger to me than just a movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
No, I totally get what you're saying. It's like it's a great representation of what it is to be depressed, and what it is to have suicidal thoughts, and how to deal with it. Yeah, and that's why I was saying, like, at the beginning, like, we were talking about like I do want everybody in the world to see this because it's gorgeous and it's amazing. It's an awesome story. But not all people will. There might be people who react to this in a negative way, and that's something we don't want at all.
Oh yeah,
because we don't know the levels of how people are, how damaged they are. So yeah, there are people who I know that this movie is definitely not for them, and they shouldn't watch it or they shouldn't watch it alone, or I don't know. I don't know what the you know. I don't know what the threshold is, or how to gauge it. Like, I'm not a fucking doctor. I don't fucking know. Like, the human mind is such a it's such a crazy thing that even like doctors don't even really understand what depression is. They're just they're just in there like probing at shit. Like, let's talk about this. So, you know, how the fuck am I going to be like, hey man, you've had suicidal thoughts? Here, check us out. No, I don't think this is one of those movies where you can be like, hey man, it's for everybody, watch it. But it is something that shines a great light on these two huge topics.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, great, you know, more than two. It's like
bullying, depression,
bullying, suicide,
death, like dealing with some kind of a physical impairment.
Yeah,
you know, like it's so much.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's like I know we harken this all the time, but like anime has such an amazing like ability to talk about these fucking heavy subjects and do an amazing job with it. Western animation, for the most part, it's just fun.
Yeah.
You know, good, happy, laughing times, you know, which is fine. I like that too. But I like the fact that these are so beautiful and they're able to resonate at different levels with us, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I love animes where shit just blows up, people kill each other. But
it's fun, yeah.
You know, it's great. But like, they're also, this needs to exist in the world. And I'm so glad it does.
Yeah.
And it was fucking great. It was beautiful. And I really want to see it again. I'm probably going to read the manga. I don't know, man.
I loved it. Like I said, I liked it more than Your Name, but
Yeah.
I think the only reason that would be is because I connected with it more.
Absolutely,
Your
yeah.
Name is an absolutely beautiful love story.
Yeah.
And it has the best, like, without a doubt, the best animation.
Yeah.
And, you know, Your Name deserves all the awards that it got, but I feel like this movie needs to have more recognition. Like, Your Name aired in theaters for a bit.
Yeah.
And this got 2 days.
It's
and
a
I
bummer.
feel like that's a huge shame.
And the thing, you know, it's just, you and I talked about this in the past. It's just the fact that like Western audience is like, there is clamor. We do want this animation, but not enough people want it for it to be as big as, you know, a deal where they like, oh, let's have a whole week of this thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like when a Marvel movie drops, that shit goes to China, that shit goes to Japan, and that shit's in theaters for a while.
Absolutely.
You know, like, and it's just not the same. You know, it's not the same demographic, you know, for
it's
the same
not.
clamoring.
It's more difficult.
And I mean, it's huge in Japan. I bet you anything, like, this movie fucking killed in Japan. And it probably killed in China, killed in Korea, killed in Europe. Here, I mean, it probably made a decent amount of money for the amount of time it was in.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know if but the theater I was in, it was pretty packed. There's, like...
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
I was surprised. I was like, I got in there. I was able to find a seat, and then people started shuffling in. People started shuffling in longer than I thought they would. Like, 15, 20 minutes into the movie, it's like, really? Like, you're still coming in. And I was like, okay.
Weird.
But yeah,
that doesn't normally happen with movies. Like,
no,
yeah, that's
it must have been
funky.
like, it must have been maybe like that scenario where like, oh, we should watch this thing. It's like, it already started. Like, it's only here for the one day. We got to do it, you know?
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe they missed some stuff, but man, was that...
It was really powerful.
It was it's an amazing piece of art.
Yeah. Because, okay, so Your Name was in theaters for a while.
Yeah.
And I think that's a fantastic anime, and I want, like, all fans of anime to watch it. But I feel like this movie is... while Your Name is great, it has some parts that I feel like people that aren't familiar with anime won't get it as much.
Like the boob grab and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. There's some, like, dorky, fun
Tropes,
things that, not so... I guess easy for audiences that don't understand what's going on. Like it's a whole cultural thing. So this movie I feel like is a story that holds up in any kind of medium, in any age group. It did a great job. And you even said the older people that came in, they were crying. They were emotionally invested
because it's an amazing story is what it is. At the end of the day, all forms of movies, TVs, there are stories, right? And depending on how good the story is, it doesn't matter what it looks like or who animates it or what network it's on or whatever. If it's a great story, it's gonna kill and it's gonna fucking hit many people. And in this story, like, man, it resonated with a lot of people. And there's people I heard people crying in theaters. You know, like there's like people that really it touched them, and it's great. And I'm so glad that this thing exists in the world. And just like I said though, like, it does kind of worry me. It's for who watches it, you know, like because like
even though it sounds like it ended happily, it still felt like, you know what, there's a lot to resolve still, and things don't work out this easily, and like there was a lot of depression up until like the very last minute, like. Even when they were just talking things out, it wasn't happy. They weren't. It was
like we got to support each other. We got to communicate. We got to work this out. It wasn't like, hey, everything's okay now, cotton candy and shit. It's bomb.
Exactly.
It wasn't that at all. Because
the only person that was like was the best friend who was like, "Who gives a fuck? We're bros forever."
Yeah,
and then everyone else, it's like relationships are hard to maintain.
Yeah,
and whether it's friendships.
I think Sierra said that when her and I were talking about the movie, she was saying that this movie very, like really real. Like it was like so real that for her, I think it made sense for why people would say it's better than Your Name, because it resonates with people. And I agree, this is based in such more realities. These themes are things that happen all the time, and in Your Name, and you don't really see people falling in love through time and space or whatever. Like that's not not a common occurrence. I mean, it happened between you and I. It was
Yeah,
but
and now we're business partners.
Because we can't get along. But what I'm saying is, like, amazing piece of art is what it is. It's art.
It's beautiful.
So let's talk about some of the awards and nominations, Scott. Yeah.
So it was nominated for a few things where it didn't win, but it did win several. So the 71st Mainichi Film Awards, it won Best Animation film, and then the 40th Japan Academy Prize, it won Best Animation, or it was nominated for Best Animation of the Year. Same with the last one, was nominated, whatever. And then the Annecy International Animated Film Festival, it was nominated for the award in feature film category. And then the actual awards that it did win is the 40th Japan Academy Prize, Excellent Animation of the Year. So Your Name had won the Best Animation of the Year, but this won Excellent Animation of the Year. So it's just like the second best, essentially.
That's good. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Which is true. Yeah. And then the Tokyo Anime Award Festival, it won Anime of the Year in the film category grand prize. The 20th Japan Media Arts Festival, it won Animation Division Excellence Award. And then the 26th Japan Movie Critics Awards, it won the Best Animation of the Year. And I think that it definitely deserved all of that recognition, if not more. Like, there wasn't so much international film awards going on. There was only one nomination for it, but I think that it definitely deserves it.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard, though, when it's going up against things like Disney and Pixar. Like, if they release anything, those are fucking huge, heavy hitters that pretty much can't be avoided.
Yeah, or if it goes up against like indies, like in things not internationally within Japan, it's going up against things like Your Name, which is acclaimed to be the best thing ever.
Real shame that this came out at the same time. I think it would have gotten even more recognition.
Yeah, it was definitely. I definitely agree that it was eclipsed just by the sheer amount of, it's fucking Makoto Shinkai or whatever, that's like, oh, it's a new Makoto Shinkai film, we gotta watch this. Real bummer, because this is a real gem, and I bet you anything, if this would have dropped last year or the year before that, this would have gotten so many awards.
Oh yeah,
so
this would have blown up so much bigger. I'm really, really happy that I got to see it. I'm sad that I didn't get to see it in theaters, but that's okay. I'm gonna buy it and watch every fucking part of this movie that I can.
Yeah, man, it's great. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out. I mean, we voiced our opinions. It's a great piece of art.
Yeah, it really is. I recommend this to almost everybody. Like I said, please find a way to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for hanging out, letting us talk to you for a little under 2 hours about essentially giving you a recap of what Your Name was. I mean, the Silent Voice was, and letting us say what we thought was good about it, and what's merit and stuff.
It's one thing watching it, but it's another thing to be able to talk about it and just like be like, yeah, this moment really got me. It was emotional for these things.
For you, it was like every moment, though.
It really was for every moment. Was there one moment
you had to pause and be like, I gotta pause this and cry?
Nah.
I
just powered fucking through it. I fought through the tears. I got there.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, because every single moment, the way that they've developed it is like, shit's bad, and when shit gets good, I'm like, oh man, this is like crazy that it's doing it.
Yeah.
And then that's emotional, and then like the next second it's bad again, and you're like, oh man, I can't handle this. That's how it was for me. And being so connected with like the overall themes of it, it was a powerful movie for me.
Did you watch it? You watched it at home?
Yeah.
Did Josh like peek at you crying?
Josh was over playing Lord of the Rings Shadow of Mordor.
Oh yeah.
I just hear like him slaughtering orcs, and they're like, oh, let's go, yeah.
And you're just like,
but I'm like crying, like, oh my god, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Look,
movie
man,
fucked me up. It was amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait to just go home and just lay in bed and be like, can't wait to buy Your Name. I mean, a Silent Voice whenever it drops. God knows when. It sucks that we're not in Europe. Let's go to Europe.
Let's go to Europe.
Is it only Europe, Amazon, though?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fucking A.
Whatever. What can you do?
What can you do? Anyways, guys, that's the show. Thanks for listening. Next week, we're going to be doing homework. We haven't decided what we're going to send each other for homework.
It's been a while. We had an emotional time talking about this. And
a lot of things have happened in the last 3 weeks. We're just like, this is our topic. This has to be our topic.
Yep.
So yeah, we're going to go to an oldie but a goodie or whatever. We're going to do some homework. Oh, thank God. Because, I'm so tired of just watching everything and then watching everything and then watching this really powerful movie.
Oh, man, yeah.
It's just draining, So it's going to be good just to watch this show and be like, I hate this trip. This is why I hate it. Or be like, I love this trip. This is why I love it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited to figure out whatever we're doing with each other.
Cool. So, hey, if you like our logo, hit up Aaron from TurbyTops.com. Super sweet person. Super nice person. Super great person. Awesome person.
People.
How many I can say persons before it gets too much?
Enough. You're done.
Anyways, hit her up. She's great to work with. And you know what? Tell her we sent you. Also, hit up Tom Nasser if you like our theme song. Tom Nasser, I know you listen to this. Tom doesn't listen to this. Hey, Kyle. Kyle listens to this.
Yeah, listen to Tom, but also, hey, Kyle.
Don't listen. Kyle, don't listen to this. Go watch the movie, Kyle, and then come back and listen to this.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing, Kyle? Get out of here. Anyways, you can look up Tom.
Yeah. Tom Nasser on SoundCloud, YouTube. Awesome musician. It's Nasser and ASR. Trip, where can people find us?
People can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same goes for Instagram. Just look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. If you want to shoot us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast Benefit.
And send us an email, instantRamenPodcast@gmail.com. Tell us, how much you cried during the movie or whatever.
or just send us a bottle of your tears. Like, we want to see it. I want physical evidence.
Yeah, man. Just send Juan some tears over the internet.
Yeah, I'll send you Trip's address.
Chill. Yeah, and also sometimes they play games and whatnot. You could go to twitch.tv/Crispather. And then finally, every once in a while we post blog shit.
You know what's funny is that last week I came up with a great idea for what a blog topic could be for me to write.
Yeah.
And I forgot.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
I know. I'll try to remember it, but it was a good one. I'll write something up. I will. I'll make a blog.
Yeah. I was thinking like, oh man, I could write about like all the emotions in the movie. And then I was like, no, we're doing that in this episode. That's fucking dumb.
One thing though, I didn't talk to you about this, but so for a silent voice screening, we got these little posters.
They looked really cool. Yeah.
So I don't know if I really want mine because it'd be kind of cool to just like give it away.
I'll snag that shit. No, I'm taking it. Fuck you, fans.
No, maybe we do another giveaway.
I'm down. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see if that happens, or unless I become too emotionally attached and keep it. And then we'll take Sierra.
I mean, you can just send it,
Sierra came up to me. She's like, you can give mine away. I was like, what? And she's like, well, I know you like putting shit on your walls. You can just do it with mine. I don't care. I was like, oh man, you're too kind. We might though. We'll figure it out.
We'll just send you both of them stapled together. Right?
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Yeah. Anyways, that's the show. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hey guys, and if you're like depressed or whatever, talk to somebody. Like that. Yeah. I feel like it's a good thing, right? Like,
yeah, hit us up.
Like
we're not experts, but like I've been there.
But if you need someone to talk to, like we're willing to help you out.
Yeah.
We'd also, I'd gladly have you go to somebody who's trained, but like, you know what? Think about your stuff, dog. Be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, this is bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just like fucking be yourself and love everyone.
Yes, and add hot water,
I guess. You don't want to end on that? You don't want to end on like, oh yeah, fucking.
I'm just saying, like you can't. Whatever. You're an asshole.